Matt Reeves turns in the finished script to the Batman 2 with production set to begin later this year.
Finally!
Yes, thumbs up. I'm being like everyone else with this Pedro Pascal thing, but it looks like Reed's wearing a fucking mask. You don't look like Reed Richards. So far from a look, out of all of them, he's the worst one.
I told you in the beginning. It's not his. That's not a Reed.
Someone please explain to me why Hollywood has this fascination with having Pedro Pascal in every fucking movie possible. This Superman movie will be one of the most visually appealing Superman movies we've ever seen.
Sure. Well, I'm still trying to figure out why Godzilla's in it, though.
Where do y'all rank Rogue One? I put this top tier. Like, I would be right behind Empire Strikes Back. I glaze this movie, Adrian. I glaze it more than a fucking Krispy Kreme donut. Why the fuck is a news reporter from the Daily Planet flying a damn flying saucer saving Superman?
I don't know.
The math also ain't math in there. I'll ask myself this. Is The Dark Knight the best comic book movie of the 21st century? No, it's not. No. My top 5, number 5, Madam Web. Number 4, The Flash. Number 3, Thor Love and Thunder. Number 2, The Eternals. And number 1, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Do you believe that that's my list?
No,
okay.
not at all.
Let's do the real list, okay? All right, welcome to Only Comics. It's Mike and Adrian.
That's it.
What's up, dude?
I'm in Snyderverse, dude.
You are?
Moving a little slow today.
Oh, slow motion.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Someone was complaining about the bell, so I'm like, bitch, I will make sure we have more fucking bells on this episode than the episode in the past.
There you go.
Don't complain, dude. Don't complain. Like, we are here strictly for our own entertainment. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you happen to be entertained, then that's just an added benefit for you.
Right.
But we do this for ourselves.
Absolutely.
But shout out to all the interns out there,
Yes, sir.
the Legion of Interns. Dude, we got some new gear.
Yeah.
The AWOB shirt is here, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that. Not A-Rod like the baseball player.
Right.
AWOB, because another week, another banger.
Yeah.
And you got one of the phrases you coined here.
Math ain't math.
The math ain't math, then, Adrian. I mean, we say that a lot, but I'm pretty sure you were the first one to say it on the show. If not, we're going to give you credit.
Check all that shit.
You know what? We're going to we're rewriting history.
There you go.
Adrian created that phrase. The first person I ever heard say it in my life was you. And now we all say it. I'm going with that.
That works for me.
Right? I mean,
Somebody copyright that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Copyright AWOP and the math ain't math. Because, Adrian, sometimes the math ain't math.
Sometimes.
And we saw some new movie trailers, which we're going to get into.
Yeah.
And there's some math that ain't math, and it's like just the calculations are off, dude. I don't know.
Okay, I got it.
And we have a new segment here, and I got a soundbite for it. Check it out. Finally. So it's my boy The Rock. So you probably don't resonate with you as much. You're not a WWE fan.
I get it.
But I finally knocked off 2 more movies from this MonsterVerse.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, I saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and then I saw Godzilla vs. Kong. So I have some thoughts. We're going to run through that a little bit later. Okay. And I would say there's definitely some moments in there where the math ain't mathing for me. I'm just like,
it's a monster movie.
Yeah, I guess. They're kind of like the new disaster films.
Okay.
And I really like
probably until Jurassic Park comes out.
Yeah, yes. So which hopefully
we'll
move past that. You know. But I do like the fact that they dig into conspiracies, like the whole Hollow Earth theory. That was cool.
Right.
And if you like conspiracy, we're also known as the Conspiracy Bros.
Okay.
They've called us that in the streets, Adrian.
Yes. Okay, in the streets.
We're known as Mike as Adrian. We're known as the Conspiracy Bros. We're known as Silver Fox and the Unaliver. We have all these aliases.
Yeah.
We have to start having some credits here, But anyway, so we're going to get into that a little bit later. But I enjoyed the films. And if you like conspiracies and you want to get down with the Conspiracy Bros, we got another podcast called Other Stuff.
Right.
Legion of Interns. So shout out to all the interns. You can subscribe. You can join that right in the description here. But we're going to get into Only Comics, because this is Only Comics, where we discuss comics and only comics, Adrian.
And, well, sometimes some other stuff.
Sometimes, yes. So, all right. Speaking of, I got some news, Adrian. You notice what hat I'm wearing?
Yeah.
I'm wearing the Batman hat, okay? I love the Batman film. My boy Battinson, or Bedward, as you call him.
Bedward,
right? Yes. Now, we've heard all kinds of crazy news. We've heard Matt Reeves is, going through personal stuff. He can't get the thing done. They're going to move on. They're going to cancel the film, yada, all nonsense and on top of more nonsense, right? And then James Gunn, our boy, he's our boy. We talked a lot about him last week.
Yep.
You think he's still our boy after last week?
To be determined.
Okay.
At some future event.
Got it. Probably not, though.
Yeah, probably not.
But hey, you know what? He also said this recently. He said he expected the script from Matt Reeves in June, and we are still in June. And guess what happened this past week, Adrian?
We got the script?
We got the script. He turned it in, so it's official. The script for the sequel to the greatest live-action Batman movie of all time, The Batman.
Also to be determined as some future thing.
Okay. In my humble opinion.
Oh, sure. Of course. Yeah,
but it's done. He turned it in, dude. So check this out, man. Go to our fun shot here. Look at this. There he is, Matt Reeves, and he co-wrote it with, and I apologize, I don't know the guy's name, but anyways, he posted this on his social media. Nice little Batman logo there. Like, bro, we're done. He's kind of stunting there a little bit too. Now, a question for you, Adrian.
Yeah.
You're a big Dark Knight fan, right? You did like the Batman, not as much as me. I probably glazed that movie a little bit, right?
Yeah, just probably a lot. But
okay. So I'm a serial glazer, huh? I have a question for you. Are you a prediction, I guess?
Yeah.
Will the Batman 2 be better than the Batman 1, in your opinion? You think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's built up some momentum. I think the people that have had to get over Bedward has had enough time to do that,
You talking about yourself?
Include myself.
Okay.
Right? They have watched it, more than once,
Sure.
So I think it's kind of grown on people. So why not?
And typically, sometimes with trilogies, the second one's not good. But I think that the delay probably helped. I like that. As much as I had a full, as the kids call, crash out when we found out that this movie was delayed because it was supposed to come out October 2nd of 26. Now it's scheduled for October 1st of 27. Damn. So that's over 2 years away. Yes, don't fucking remind me. But it could be a good thing because we've seen what happens with Sony and Marvel and DC when they rush things out.
Right. We've seen when they don't rush things too, and it's kind of the same.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Valid point. All right. So it's a 50-50. It's a shot in the dark.
Exactly.
But I agree with you. I do think the Batman 2 will be better just because Matt Reeves does have a history of making good trilogies. If you remember the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the newer one, he did that. And I think those films got better with each entry.
Sure.
And they were a little more spaced out than your traditional films. So I got faith in my boy Matt Reeves and my boy Pattinson,
Okay.
So it remains to be seen. But you guys let us know. What do you think? Batman 2, will it be better or equal then or worse than the Batman? I'm going to say better.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. DC. See, people say that we've been called this name before. Marvel shills. Remember this? A friend of ours online, Marvel. They turn their backs on us. It's okay because we don't give a fuck because we're just here for our own entertainment, as we said.
Right.
That's going to be a new shirt. We have like 27 shirts. We're going to start changing them mid-episode and shit, But you can get these shirts at onlycomicsmerch.com. But more importantly, Superman trailer dropped this past week.
Yep.
Right? Another one. Like, how many trailers do we need?
I'm telling you, dude, I don't even need to go see the movie at this point.
I believe these are the final trailers for both Superman and Fantastic Four. If they're not, they will be the final trailer that I watch. I'm not watching anymore. I do think they've done a good job of recycling footage to not spoil too much. Like I have not got the feeling that I know what happens in these movies yet, but it's getting close.
Right.
So in this last trailer, first of all, you know what I'm going to talk about. It pissed me off. But outside of that big piece, how'd you feel about the rest of the trailer? What do you think?
A lot of the math ain't math.
Yes.
Okay, so when you have a structure like a building, right?
Yes.
And you put a pinhead on any point of that building. What typically happens is when the building is falling, you put a pinhead on it, right?
Right.
Then you put a hole in the building.
Sure.
Because of the structure. It's not a giant piece of sheet metal underneath these bricks. They're put together by mortar.
Correct.
This thing is going to fall. So when you have in a movie like this, like a character stopping a building from falling or lifting
midpoint of the building.
Midpoint,
yes,
and you're lifting a ship, you're going to crack the object in half.
Correct.
So here you have this Superman. I mean, it's a cool shot.
It looks cool.
He's actually stopping the building from crushing this car, right? But he's in the air, suspended, like laying down, and he's holding the building up. Now, first of all, he should have just moved the car. If that's the only person that he's trying to save, he just should have just moved the car.
Right.
Because the building is already fucked.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So now he's got to push the building up, hope the building doesn't crumble down around him on top of her.
Yep.
Right? All right, so the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
Then why is it that people with dimples got to do every face inflection in the universe to show that they have dimples?
Well, how else would you know they have dimples, Adrian?
I guess it's like, like, come on, dog.
I'm gonna do the whole show like this. Yeah, I got a dimple too, but I have to make this weird thing with my face to show, you know.
Right,
so I'm probably not
I don't
gonna
get
do
it.
that. No. Yes, that was the beginning of the trailer. I'm like, why is the building not snapping in half? Like I've seen the Titanic. I've seen how that shit happens.
Yeah.
I mean, but to your point, like he's here and there's all this building up here.
Right.
And it's a very flexible building, apparently.
Yes.
So I agree. There was some math not mathing. And then, you did mention it was a cool shot. There was a lot of cool shots in this trailer. I definitely believe that from a visual standpoint, and this is something I was thinking about with the MonsterVerse movies. Like plot-wise, there ain't a whole lot going on. But visually, these are some of the most visually impressive movies I've ever seen in my life.
Sure.
And it does seem like, at least from that standpoint, the Superman movie will be one of the most visually appealing Superman movies we've ever seen.
Sure. Well, I'm still trying to figure out why Godzilla's in it, though. I go to, as many trailers as they've had, I would go see this movie just to figure out why is Godzilla in this fucking movie.
Dude, is Kong going to show up at the end? Hopefully.
That's Galactus.
Okay. And the part that really annoys me is a trend we see so often. We don't need to take the sideline characters, the human characters, the reporters, the people, the grandma, and make them the fucking war heroes and I'm sorry. And and this is it's not a gender thing. It's not anything. I don't need to see fucking Lois Lane saving Superman. I'm good. Superman's the hero.
Right.
Like, if we're going to make Superman, they say he's the most powerful entity on the face of Earth, right? Why the fuck is a news reporter from the Daily Planet flying a damn flying saucer saving Superman?
I don't know, dude.
The math also ain't math in there.
The first Superman that came out in the 70s, Lois, she spent her time, screaming pretty much, falling off of shit.
Sure.
Being saved. She never learned how to fly a spaceship, and was, doing all this other stuff. So, and that movie was still iconic to this day.
Yeah.
So why is it now we have to have Lois, like Blue Beetle, the grandma,
right?
The fucking uncle with the $200,000 truck but can't keep the house.
Sure.
All of a sudden everybody can do all this stuff now.
Yep. Grandma can
where does that come
swing
from?
this giant, machine gun like nobody's business.
Right.
Like, come on. And you don't need to do that to make the character not just be, a basic secretary. Like, we've seen in this trailer Lois challenging Superman's morals, right? Like, they can play an important role without being the hero.
Absolutely.
You be a hero in different ways. You don't just have to be the damsel in distress. But it's like, there's no happy medium. It's either you're a damsel in distress or you're now saving the fucking planet.
That's it.
But so yeah, they're gonna get this. All right, so they're trying to upset me. They're trying to give me some good news.
I think so, dude.
They gave me my dessert first with the Batman 2, and now I'm getting a shit sandwich.
There you go.
Imagine that. You had a nice tiramisu cake, Adrian, nice little cappuccino, and then next thing you know, they go, wait, before you leave, here, have this fucking shit sandwich. I can't, Anyways. Fantastic Four first steps, though.
Yep.
Dude, everyone, why do you like Marvel over DC? Because they're better. And it looks at least like that trend's going to continue.
Well, I'm liking DC more since they became a division of Marvel. So, that helps.
Now, one thing I will say the math ain't mathin' on in this trailer, and I try to hold out on this because I'm like, maybe I'm just, I'm being like everyone else with this Pedro Pascal thing. But it looks like Reed's wearing a fucking mask. You don't look like Reed Richards.
No.
And hopefully, as we see the movie, maybe his acting will capture that character's essence. But so far from a look, out of all of them, he's the worst one.
I told you in the beginning. It's not his. That's not a read.
Someone please explain to me why Hollywood has this fascination with having Pedro Pascal in every fucking movie possible. He's everywhere. He's a great actor, right?
Well, he's trying to take over Sam Jackson's role.
Yeah, exactly. It was like I was at the barbershop this past week and they were watching a movie with The Rock, Rampage.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And I was like, this movie came out during a time where if you had an action movie, The Rock was in that motherfucker. Remember this?
Yep.
Every movie. And he just played a jacked bald head dude. Like, he played the same character. He didn't have to read the script. You're like, just come in, smash it, say some funny jokes, and wink at the fucking camera.
Right. I mean, even though Rampage was a good movie.
It was good.
I thought it was good anyway.
But it was if you were doing an action movie, bro, Dwayne Johnson was in that shit. And now it's like, if you're doing a movie with a male lead role, Pedro Pascal's in it.
Right. Or a beer commercial. I just watched an older movie with The Rock when he had hair.
What's it? Walking Tall, maybe?
No, Escape from Witch Mountain.
Okay, I never seen that one.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a remake of the 60s or 70s movie, Escape from Witch Mountain. It's pretty cool.
Got it. All right, so I got some I have some 4K stills that Marvel put out from this trailer I wanted to go through real quick. But but also wanted to go through, this was a synopsis put out by Marvel about these characters to give you an idea of who the Fantastic Four, who they are in this movie. Because they've been in comics forever, right? So we've seen different variations. We've seen, all different points that these characters have all evolved and how they interact, so on and so forth. But so right now in this universe, Reed Richards, he has played, it's kind of backstory on them. He played a crucial role in the United States, their space program. So he's an astronaut, right? Not Katy Perry level, but he's probably a little bit better. I don't know. The host of Fantastic Science airs every weekly on ABC. This is like in the beginning where you see that host having them on or whatever, right? So he's the host of Fantastic Science. He is a CEO of Reed Tech, and so he's a businessman. And he literally just develops technologies every day to make life easier. He's a modern day fucking Elon Musk without the weirdness, okay? And he's actually gone to space. And then Sue was part of peace talks with Subterranea, which is the Mole Man, right? His whole... So Mole Man already exists. They must have had some interaction in the past, and she was the one that kind of talked, had a little peace treaty with the Mole Man.
I mean, she left her husband 5 times. I mean, she had to dip down probably to Mole Man too. I mean, you going under the water, you might as well go under earth.
Yeah, she hasn't done that yet in this universe, dude. But we know that's coming. I mean, if she sees Namor from the other universe, she might have a little wandering eye, as they say.
Go.
Might want to get a little check on see who's Franklin's real daddy.
There you go.
I'm just saying.
Put on, was it Maury or
oh yeah.
No, it wasn't Maury. It was
shit.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, but you know what we're talking about. Fact check that one too.
Yep.
And then Johnny Storm has his own fan club, the Flaming Hearts.
Oh, wow. So
as much as there was reported he wasn't gonna be a womanizer and everyone lost their shit, that doesn't mean he's not gonna have women fans and be like he's gonna be like a pop star. Like all little girls love him.
Right.
Doesn't mean he has to be the womanizer.
I mean, besides the other 3 males in the group, not that attractive.
Right. You saying the bar's low.
The bar's low.
And then Ben Grimm loves gardening, cooking, and his family. So his family guy, We saw the last trailer of Fantastic Four, I believe. There's some new shots in here, right? We saw this alert. Everything had these little pagers almost. I like the retro look and feel of this.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons?
Correct, yes.
Like it's old but new. Johnny all flamed up here. Dude, this looks awesome. I think so.
Except, why did they leave the belt thing? Looks like he's wearing an old World War II belt or some shit.
I mean, it's that Reed Tech, dude. It ain't gonna catch fire, right?
I guess.
We see more of her powers, Invisible Woman, which, that's something that I think is a huge misconception out there. People think her only powers are she disappears.
Right.
Which you covered in Hidden Gem. Dude, she can literally create force fields around just about anything.
All right, the gladiator was going ape shit, and she was not only projecting a force field around the planet to prevent him from going into it, but she was also attacking him at the same time.
Yeah. So when we say she's the most powerful member of the Fantastic Four, we're not glazing. Absolutely. We're not. That math is mathing, by the way.
Correct.
And Johnny Storm taking off here. Get a little, Fantastic Four fire. He's a showboater, so why not, right? And there it is, dude. The Fantastic Car flies. Nice. How you feel about the design of the Fantastic Car?
It's cool. It's cool.
It looks awesome. I like seeing it both drive and fly.
I like the blue.
Yes.
I like the blue that they picked in this.
Yep. I love the Thing design. I know you're not crazy about the voice.
No, not at all. But I'm not crazy about mine today either, but that's okay.
You got Franklin, dude. Franklin's there. Franklin's there. I mean, it's not really hard to cast a baby, but
right.
I'm liking the Silver Surfer. It does look like they did something to the CGI because I think it looks a lot better. I don't know where the fuck they're going here.
What is that?
I don't even know. Because this couldn't be the negative zone, could it? Who knows? But how you feel about the look of the Silver Surfer?
It's too CGI-ish.
Yeah, you're not liking it?
It looks. I guess it looks cool.
Yeah,
it looks almost like a video game.
Yeah,
face.
And then we got Galactus, dude. I said this last week or 1 week. I don't fucking know. I think that we're gonna walk away from this film, whether how good or bad it is. I think the Galactus is going to steal the show in this. I mean, this looks awesome, and I guess this is something that, if you want to give credit to the Eternals for a little bit,
right?
They did do the Celestials well. Yes. The look of them.
Yep.
Now the whole storyline was fucked, as they say, 6 ways from Sunday, whatever that means. But the look of the Celestials were pretty cool.
Well, there's 6 days before there's a Sunday, right?
6 ways from Sunday. Got it. So you fuck it a different way every day before Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at that, dude. And then you got this buckethead motherfucker on here.
I told you guys. That's not Mr. Fantastic.
No.
Not at all.
Now, maybe if he shaved the mustache, when have you ever seen Reed with just a mustache? It's usually the beard or nothing.
Right. It's
not helping.
He just doesn't have the look. It's just one of those things where he was a popular actor.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, let's throw this guy in here.
Right.
And,
it's like why Halle Berry played Storm.
Right.
Yeah, Sue and Franklin.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think any of those actors are those characters.
No? You don't like Sue either?
No.
I don't mind Sue. And Johnny,
Yeah, Namor didn't mind Sue either.
A shot of Galactus here looking massive. Thing with the beard, dude. You remember in the comics at times Thing has a beard for some reason?
I've never seen
You never seen him with a beard?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it in a few, and it looks better here. Now, what I wonder though, the only time I've seen things like this with Thing in the comics is when they've gone through some type of time travel.
Uh-huh.
And there was an issue too where they were in the Hollow Earth, right? They were down fucking around Mole Man and shit. Right. And they crowned Sue the queen of the underground because she's Sue. But I remember there was something about where they were, some weird energy that was aging Thing up. So we saw some of that too. So how does
that shit grow? I mean, weeds grow between the rocks,
right,
not on top of the rocks, right?
Yeah, I don't know the math behind that one.
Yeah.
And then we've seen this giant ship. We see the Fantastic Four take off. That was pretty cool. So we are getting some space elements in here, which looks cool. Yeah, it's just, dude, the Reed ain't reading, bro.
Reed ain't reading.
Nope. I do like the blue suits, though.
Yeah.
All right, what the fuck is this?
This looks like the contraption that Galactus uses to drain the energy from the Earth.
Okay. That makes sense. So we're probably going to see some world draining in this motherfucker, Adrian.
Because, I mean, people think that, like Galactus just sits up in the ship and, drains the Earth like through a straw or some shit. Well, that takes energy.
Right.
So he's developed over time technology, just like he has a herald to go find him worlds so that he doesn't have to expend the energy to do that. He has machines now that do the energy draining for him.
Got it. It's not his first rodeo.
Right.
And then last but not least, we get this shot with Reed. Looks like he's stabbing Galactus. Do you think that's the ultimate nullifier?
Probably.
Which, now, this thing can defeat Galactus. Is that right? Or it wipes out the universe? I forget. There's some weird thing about the Ultimate Nullifier where it would destroy the universe.
I forget what the power of that thing is, but if he's using it, that means he thinks that it can do the job.
Right.
Which also means that probably that shot that you saw earlier was the negative zone.
Because that's where they get it from, right? The negative zone. So, but yeah, dude, and I'm not. You can drop that. I'm not glazing, or maybe I am, based off of these two trailers, based off of these stills, and based off of Lois Lane being fucking Captain whoever. I'm still gonna say Fantastic Four. I'm more excited about. Yeah. Despite the readness, the read not reading.
Right.
We get that on a shirt. The read's not reading. We'll put Pedro Pascal's face.
Exactly.
I just there's so many other actors that could. Now he's a great actor. There's a lot of great actors, right? Like this. I mean, it's your boy Leonardo DiCaprio. He could have played. No.
That ship has sailed.
Okay, got it. But there's plenty of other actors that looked the part more. I don't know why. Well, I do know why it had to be Pedro. Because like you said, he's this friend. He's the guy, right? Everyone, they always show up to see Pedro.
I mean, Krasinski, they could have just kept him on board or whatever his name is.
Even the first guy who played him in the old movie. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I want him back. I'm just saying he looked more Reed than this. Because Reed's kind of a dork.
Yeah.
Pedro's not a dork. Pedro's he's the drinking the Coronas on the beach guy, you know? Like, he's cool. I don't know why they want the cool guy playing the fucking dork, but
because they think it's gonna bring tickets. Put seats in the movie theater.
Yes, put asses in the seats, as they say. So, all right, moving on. The New York Times, Adrian, they put together a list. So they put together a list of the top 100 movies of the 21st century. Okay, now here's how they did this. They polled over 500 influential directors, actors, and other notable names in Hollywood and around the world, pretty much everyone but us, okay? Yeah, so they went to people that have been in these movies, real directors, like the real folks. They didn't want to hear from us.
Wait a minute. So they went to the people that made the movies, and they went to the people that acted in the movies.
Yes.
But no bias at all.
No, not at all. Okay. Not at all. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at their list. Actually, go to just the laptop shot, not the super source. All right. Let's get Reed out of there because Reed ain't reading. So this is our list here. So starting at 100, Superbad. You ever seen Superbad?
No.
Jonah Hill? It's a great movie. It's funny. So you had Superbad on there. You got Gravity. Gravity's a good one. Black Panther's number 96. So 2 comic book movies made the list. Black Panther being number 96. You got a bunch of other things on. Your movie right there, Gladiator, which you always talk about. Lord of the Rings. Interstellar's number 89.
92, though?
Yeah. You think that's low? Think it should be higher? Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see what else is on here. Anchorman. That's kind of high for Anchorman, 85.
Right.
Black Swan. That's a really good one, 81. Let's see. A lot of these, I believe it or not, Adrian, I haven't seen a lot of these. How the fuck did Ratatouille get on here at 73, dude? Like that, come on. Ocean's 11, 71. I think that's Glaze. Under the Sun, The Hurt Locker, Spotlight, Oppenheimer. I've still never seen that. You seen Oppenheimer yet?
I have not, but it didn't win like an Academy Award.
It fucking won everything, yeah.
But it's 65.
It won 65, yeah. Wow. Gone Girl, 64. That's a good one. Memento, that's a really good one. That's Christopher Nolan. Kill Bill, I think that's the first one. You like the Kill Bill movies? Tarantino?
The first one.
Yeah.
It kind of,
Okay. Uncut Gems. That's actually a really good movie with Adam Sandler. Let's see. Inception. Dude, I've been telling you, Adrian, my boy Leo, number 55. Borat's number 53. That's funny. 12 Years a Slave is 51. Up, 50. I think that's Glaze. The beginning of that movie is great, but then it gets kind of silly.
I can never get past the first couple of minutes.
Of Up?
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Almost Famous. Moneyball. Moneyball's a good one. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That movie's pretty good. 44, I think, is a stretch, though. All right, let's see what else. A handful of nonsense. Wall-E, number 34, Adrian. I've been telling you. It's not Glaze. It's right there. It's proof. The Departed, 31. That's a good one. And then the highest ranking comic book movie was The Dark Knight at 28. Her, I've never seen that. Wolf of Wall Street is one of my all-time favorites, number 20. I think that's a good spot. Zodiac. Zodiac's a good movie. You ever seen that? With Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo. It's about the Zodiac killer. Brokeback Mountain, all right, number 17. City of God, Inglourious Basterds, that's a good one. Number 14. And here's the top 10, Adrian. Social Network. I don't know how the fuck that movie's so high. Get Out. I like Get Out, but I think that's Glaze. No Country for Old Men. Moonlight, I've never seen. In the Mood for Love. Something or Another. I've never even seen most of these, honestly. Right. Parasite.
Parasite's number 1?
Yeah. I hear a lot about that movie. You ever seen it?
No.
And then Mulholland Drive, I hear, is supposedly really good. So, believe it or not, we are not movie experts. All right, you can drop that.
Yeah.
So is this list overall? I mean, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
Would you say is it Mathin on this list?
Of course it is. They they asked the people that played in the movie. Of course, it's your favorite movie.
Correct.
Or whatever. You know?
Like if you wanted to poll us about YouTube channels, I would put ours number 1.
Sure.
You know, and then other stuff would be number 2. Like, but
exactly.
There's a little bit of bias in there, right?
Bit.
So
unlike these ratings.
No. Now, so the way I looked at this, it's kind of like they said this without saying this, right? Because they didn't make a list of greatest comic book movies of the 21st century, but the fact that they only included 2 on their top 100 list, I would say that in these people's opinion, those 2 movies are the greatest comic book movies of the 21st century. Does that check out?
I understand what you're saying, but like those movies, I wouldn't even consider those the better of the movies either.
Oh, the rest of the list?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the list is fun.
No. I mean, out of the comic book movies that they chose, I don't think those are the best of the comic book movies.
I don't either. I disagree. But let's assume that that's what their intent was. Okay, we're gonna take their words and we're gonna take them out of context, which is what you do on social media, right?
Absolutely.
And we're taking it out of context and we're gonna complain about it. So, but according to that math, Black Panther and The Dark Knight would be the top 2 comic book movies of the 21st century. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
You do. Those 2 movies.
Well, I agree that. Are you asking me? Are those the top 2 movies of comic book movies?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No, they are not.
They are not.
Now, first of all, I think Black Panther should be rated higher than The Dark Knight.
Okay.
But are those the 2 movies that should be representing the comic book genre? Maybe Black Panther.
Okay.
But not The Dark Knight.
Okay. So you think that's glaze, as the kids say.
Yes.
All right. So I'll ask myself this. Is The Dark Knight the best comic book movie of the 21st century? No, it's not.
No.
Is it a great movie?
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
Let's give our list, Adrian, because it's our show.
Right.
So this top 100 list from the New York Times, fuck the New York Times. They didn't ask us. But we're going to give our list anyways. Yep. All right. So my top 5, number 5, Madam Web. Number 4, The Flash. Number 3, Thor: Love and Thunder. Number 2, The Eternals. And number 1, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Do you believe that that's my list?
No,
okay.
Not at all.
Let's do the real list, okay? Yep. All right, we'll go back and forth. So my number 5, and this is the top 5 comic book movies of the 21st century. So in case you don't know timelines, we started in the year 2000, right? Okay. So this will eliminate movies like the Superman, the early Christopher Reeves stuff, Batman Returns, things of that nature. Got it. So my number 5 on this list, top 5 comic book movies of the 21st century, is Captain America: Civil War. What's your number 5?
I didn't prepare a list, so I'm thinking.
Okay.
I don't know. It's probably going to change, but I would put in my top 5. Probably, but number 1 is definitely going to be like Spider-Man Cross the multiverse. But my number 5, I would probably go with.
You know what? I'll give my top 5.
Yeah, you do that because I'm like dragging this on.
So rewind that, cut that out. We don't want to make Adrian look like he didn't have his list ready. So, I mean, we don't let the people down, you know? So,
Sure.
All right, so my number 5, Captain America: Civil War. I think this movie juggled a lot of plot lines from the early Marvel movies. I think it juggled introducing Spider-Man and Black Panther, and really just this ensemble cast in a really good way. It had a great mix of action, fun aspects, and also just a lot of good drama between Tony, and it made you really judge these characters. And it was hard because it was written so well where half the movie I found myself on Tony's side, then half the movie I'm on Cap's side, then I'm like, actually both y'all are kind of fucked up. I mean, like, Tony, Cap knew that Bucky killed Tony's parents and never told them. Yeah. Now, Bucky was mind controlled, and then Tony worked out this deal and signed and made his mind up about the Sokovia Accords without talking to the rest of the team. Like, there was a lot of layers to this.
Yeah.
So I thought that was done really well, which is why I have a lot of faith in the Russo brothers juggling Doomsday and Secret Wars. I don't think there's another set of directors that would be able to handle that, honestly. Mm-hmm. My number 4 movie is actually The Dark Knight, believe it or not, Adrian. This movie is great. It's one of the best movies, period. I always struggle putting it on lists for comic book movies because I feel like it was just a really good movie that happened to have comic characters in it. And I do feel like Heath Ledger's Joker carried this movie.
Right.
I like Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. His Batman, this type of shit, I can't do. I really can't. But as a movie, I would say also this is probably a list for another day, but cinematic villains, there aren't many that I would put above Heath Ledger's Joker.
No.
I mean, very few, maybe Darth Vader or someone of that in nature, but he was top tier.
Yep.
Number 3 is Avengers Infinity War. I've always said that this movie, even though Endgame had some bigger moments, Infinity War overall was a better movie. That roller coaster ride it takes you on from the beginning to the end and ending with the snap. It really was to me, it was like a modern day Empire Strikes Back type of ending where the villains won. And I think it was ballsy at the time to kill off half your cinematic universe for a year, Number 2 is Logan. I think Logan redefined what a comic book movie could be. It was to that tune of like The Dark Knight. It felt like a really good movie. It was a rated R movie. It was brutal. It was bloody, but it had, a good drama and a layer of heart to it. And it was the first time, until Deadpool Wolverine came out where we got to see Wolverine, how Wolverine should be done, And then my number 1 movie, you mentioned this earlier, is Across the Spider-Verse. I don't think there is a better comic book movie that has been put out yet better than Across the Spider-Verse from a look, from a feel. That movie is like a comic book came to life, and they handled the multiverse, the Spider-Verse very well in a way that's easily, because the multiverse, dude, can be confusing.
Right.
There's a lot to it, the concept. And to be able to take that concept, introduce it, build this kind of world in this film over the course of a couple hours, it's a hell of an accomplishment to when that resonates, because it could be over your head, with trying to cram something like that into. So and the voice acting, the colors, the look, the soundtrack, there was just so much to that movie that I think as a comic book movie, it's levels above anything else. So that is my top 5. Nope, Madam Web did not make the cut. Nope, the Eternals did not, nor did Zack Snyder's Justice League. So,
right.
All right, Adrian, did I buy you enough time?
Yes.
All right, what you got?
Quickly, so we got number 5, Dark Knight.
Okay.
Number 4, Avengers Infinity. Number 3, Black Panther. 2, Iron Man, and the same Spidey across it was a lot of things. It was a treat. It was fascinating. It was surprising to see that they can pull something like that off.
Yeah.
And it also introduced the possibility of, alternate types of, Spider-Mans.
Right.
So I absolutely love the movie. It's a gem of a movie. I'm surprised, it wasn't on that.
Yeah.
Top 100 list.
Unfucking unbelievable.
I mean, of course, I'm looking at some of the movies too. It's like, no.
Right.
There's no way I would have put that there.
No. Ratatouille, come on, dude. We all know Wall-E should be in the top 5. I mean, obviously. And It's fun. I didn't have Iron Man, but that's another movie too that, I mean, it literally, what it did for the comic book movie culture, it started the MCU.
Absolutely.
If that movie failed, there would be no MCU.
Probably.
Right? Like, at least not what we see today.
Are you saying that if Superman fails?
I think so. Yes. I do think there's a lot. Now, the good thing about DC is you see the hat, Adrian.
Yeah.
They got the real champ in the back. So,
sure.
I mean, Iron Man had to succeed for the Avengers to work the way it did, right? Now, you had Cap. In the worst case, you pull in Spider-Man and have him save the day.
Sure.
But with DC, dude, you don't have anyone else outside of Batman.
I mean, you start now, with a shitty top tier guy.
He's
supposed to be the top tier.
Correct.
He's not really, but he's supposed to be.
Well, Lois Lane is, obviously.
That, yes.
It's just the most powerful entity on the face of this earth. So, anyways, all right, that's our list. So, hey, drop your list. Who are your top 5 comic book movies? And I think this list is fluid, Adrian. Like,
absolutely.
We could do this next week, and I may have a completely different list.
Absolutely.
This is just
probably
what I was...
Later on in the show, it'll be different.
Yeah, right. I'll ask at the end. All right, so Ironheart. We're going to talk about Ironheart in a little bit. But
Must we?
We're going to talk about Ironheart later. But there was a piece of news this week that kind of pissed me off. So, because I'm a big fan of, if you don't like something, don't fucking watch it.
Right.
Right? But don't intentionally sabotage shit for other people. Right? That's like when we first started doing this, we had a viral clip where we talked about the Avengers or the X-Men destroying the Justice League.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of people think, oh, that's not how it works. They would beat them every time. You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, dude, it's kind of made up characters. So shut the fuck up and shut the fuck up. But what they did was they started tagging all these big content creators, and some of them started responding, which I'm fine with. But the ones that I'm like, fuck these guys, are the people that would say things like, hey, don't watch these guys. Because you have influence, right? If somebody wants to watch us, let us watch it. Let them watch us. Because you don't agree with our opinion, you're telling other people, don't watch these people. Right. So all those guys, fuck y'all.
The person, that you might have passed up on the street might be the perfect person for somebody else.
Correct.
So you saying like, no, pay no attention to this guy because I'm not paying attention to this person?
Absolutely.
That's bullshit.
You can say I don't agree. These guys, I think the X-Men would fucking get their asses kicked. Have at it. But not, don't watch these guys. Fuck you. And that's what happens sometimes with comic book shit, right? Like Ironheart may not be for everyone, right? We'll talk about our thoughts about it later. But this thing, you ever heard the term review bombed?
No.
So review bombing is it's essentially leaving bad reviews intentionally, whether you saw that movie or show or not, just to give it a bad reputation. It's kind of like, hey, don't watch these guys, right? So Ironheart was review bombed before it was released on streaming. The audience score before it even hit streaming, so these people didn't see the fucking show, was 32%. So that's fucked up.
Right.
Let people actually watch it, then decide. But so you're upset for who, God knows what reason, because it's a black female, because there's a drag queen in it, because it's in Chicago. I don't fucking know. You're upset for some reason. And instead of letting other people decide, you're going on intentionally leaving bad reviews. So this movie this show went before it hit streaming, had a 32% audience score.
Wow.
Yes. Now we're gonna flip this into a little critics versus audience, Adrian, or an old segment that you used to love the name. What the fuck, Rotten Tomatoes? So the critics score. This is as of today for Ironheart after the review bombing nonsense. Right now, the first 3 episodes of this show collectively sit at a 73% critic score, okay, and a 58% audience score. So, if you remember the rules here, we just pick which one, if we had to pick a score out of these two, which one would we pick?
I go with the reviewers.
The reviewers, 58%?
No, that's
the critics.
The critics.
Okay, 73%. Yeah, I think that's closer. I mean, now, if you're asking me my score, it would not be 73%.
Right.
It would probably be, I'd say probably 65, maybe. So it's probably right in the middle of these two. Like, I don't think it was phenomenal. I don't think it was horrible either.
Right.
And I mean, I am interested to see where it goes.
Was it Madam Webbish?
No. Madam Web is like a 2%, dude. That's like, I've dropped turds more entertaining than Madam Web. Yes.
Damn.
So yeah. Oh yeah. So, anyways, all right, moving on. Speaking of Madden Web, dude, it's like are you reading my notes?
I am not.
We're just in tune like that.
Just in tune like that.
See, the math here is always math,
absolutely
right?
Absolutely.
We got some of the best math. It's like the big, beautiful math. We get the best math in the world. Yes. Anyways, so Sony, unfortunately, has the rights to Spider-Man, right? And now, thankfully, they've been smart enough to work with Kevin Feige and the rest of Marvel to incorporate Tom Holland into the MCU, right? Mm-hmm. But they have decided to go on this run of literally like miss after miss after miss after miss of these Spider-Man-less Spider-Man universe movies, right? Mm-hmm. You mentioned Madam Web. There was 3 shithole Venom movies. There was Morbius. There was Craven was the most okay-ish one probably out of the bunch. But even that could have done without, right? So they just went on a run of just shitty ass fucking movies, for lack of better words, right? There's a rumor that they may have decided to put that universe out of its misery or pause all plans at least. So I'm hoping this is the case, meaning they're going to stop making these shitty ass movies without Spider-Man.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the news. But I hope that rumor comes true.
Yeah.
And that's going to segue into our next piece of news, Spider-Man Brand New Day. So Brett Pawlak, I guarantee you don't know this guy's name.
No.
He is a cinematographer for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So they're involved with, visually what we see, right? Mm-hmm. The cinematographer, dude, on Pinterest. You ever fuck around with Pinterest?
Yeah.
You know that? Yep. Yeah. So he shared, I don't know if he did this intentionally or not, but he shared his mood board, right? So a lot of artistic individuals, when you're working on projects, before you start designing, you put together a mood board. Gives you kind of the look and feel of what you're going for when you're collabing with people. We've done this stuff, working on logos and things like that, right? So anyways, he shared his mood board. So go to our super source for everyone here. These are some of the shots he shared, and you see, now it's Pinterest, so these could just be fan art, but if he's collecting these in his mood board, that would indicate that this is probably what they're going for from a look and feel of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So we heard the rumors about Savage Hulk being back and fighting Spider-Man, which we see some of right here. We had 3 different shots here. Now this one here, this is more just like shots of the city. Got Radio City Music Hall, so maybe it is going to actually be in New York for once. And then you see some shots here with possibly MJ, some close up. It looks darker. It looks a little moody, Adrian. Right. So, but I'm now. This is just judging this mood board here. But how do you feel about a more not grounded, yes, but more emotional Spider-Man story, a little more dramatic, a little more adultish, like not as fun and bright and in your face? Do you think it's time? Because you read Spider-Man comics, there's all kinds of Spider-Man. There's some dark Spider-Man comics. Yeah. Do you think it's time to see some of that, a more mature Peter Parker?
Yeah, I think we can migrate it. I think the audience is grown up with Spider-Man enough to be able to handle him, dealing with some serious stuff.
Because he does.
Serious movie. He does. And which is why he's the most popular character on the planet. Because he's a kid, everybody thinks they can be a Spider-Man.
Correct.
Most of his stories are grounded in the city, with family, things like that, instead of, spaceships and multiverses. And stuff.
Reporters saving you and flying saucers. Do you think Spider-Man is, I don't know if he's the most, but one of the most relatable comic characters?
Oh, absolutely.
Like to just about anybody, right?
Absolutely.
And it's funny that you talk about the anybody could be Spider-Man. It's one of the reasons, I don't know if it was intentional in the beginning, but I've heard Stan Lee talk about this, the fact that he's covered with a mask. It could be anyone. Right. It could be boy, girl, whatever, black, white, Asian, anything. Because he's a mass superhero. Right. Now, he takes it off, sure. Right, sure. But like anyone looks at him and thinks that they could be that individual. And Peter Parker, is great as he is in some ways, he's very unlucky. Things don't always go his way, which, I mean, if you've ever lived a day in the fucking real world, that's how it is. Right.
Well, anybody could be him but Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Please don't.
Unbelievable. Star Wars. We don't talk a lot about Star Wars on this show because they're kind of like DC. They really don't do much anymore.
No.
Have you ever seen Star Wars Rogue One? This is one of the newer ones where they steal the Death Star plans.
No.
Okay. This, in my opinion, is, if we ever ranked our Star Wars movie, actually I did on Star Wars Day, so you can go back and find that maybe. This is one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever, Rogue One. It doesn't have many of the main characters you would recognize. There is a badass Darth Vader scene, but it is essentially, this movie takes place before, now when I say the first Star Wars, not the prequels, but the original, which was actually episode 4. Right. But A New Hope with Luke Skywalker. It takes place, if you remember in that movie, in a nutshell, they're trying to blow up the Death Star.
Right.
The Resistance has some Death Star blueprints. They kind of know its weak point, right? Right. All that's already known before we see this movie, and we in the end, Luke Skywalker does that iconic scene where he's flying through the Death Star and drops the bomb in there and fucking blows it up. Okay. Now this movie, Rogue One, tells the story of how the Resistance or the rebels even got those Death Star plans in the first place. Okay. It was like a rogue group, kind of ragtag thrown together, that stole the Death Star plans. But this movie is a great movie. Yeah. And a lot of fans believe that of the Disney era, this was the best Star Wars movie. So the reason it's in the news is the director, Gareth Edwards, I think he's lying, because he says his movie is not the best movie from the Star Wars Disney era. So I think he's trying to play nice, Adrian. Sure. But the reason I even brought this up is I know we have some Star Wars fans out there, so I'm wondering, where do y'all rank Rogue One? I put this top tier, like I would be right behind Empire Strikes Back. I glaze this movie, Adrian. I glaze it more than a fucking Krispy Kreme donut. So let me know. Do y'all glaze it like me, or you're not glazing it as much? But you've never seen it, so I'm not going to ask you, because we don't lie here on our podcast. We don't lie.
Hey. Okay.
Are you saying we do?
No,
we might. Truth?
Well, it's not intentional.
Oh, okay.
I would say when we say fact check things, we might say things unintentional that are incorrect.
Got it.
So it's not lying.
Correct.
But we may say some things that may be incorrect.
I reserve the right to change my opinion at a later date in time.
Exactly.
Yes. Last piece of news, Marvel Rivals. You still haven't played this game?
I still have not played the game, no.
So I think by now we're probably not going to get you to play this game. But I still play this every few days, not as much as I did early on. I do typically go on a little run when they introduce new characters. So season 3 is starting soon, and there's a leak that reveals supposedly they're adding Blade to the game and Jean Grey Phoenix. So I think both these characters will be fun as hell to play as. Yeah. And I know we used to talk about a lot on here. You guys let me know. Are y'all still playing Rivals? I do, now that, I don't talk about this much on here, but my house has been a construction site for a long time, and getting towards the end of that. So I'm looking at carving out a gaming space somewhere so we can start. Because people have asked, like, we'll play some games, and I would love to, but right now I game in my living room when everyone's sleeping. So I need to carve out a space where I can have a dedicated. So who knows? It might be only comic streaming soon, Maybe Adrian will play with us.
Maybe not, though.
Maybe not. Okay. We'll have a Ratchet and Clank tournament.
There we go.
All right, so wrapping up the news, we like to wrap up with a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
Go to the split. Actually, no, go to back and forth. Yeah. All right, ready?
Let's go.
Number 1, Matt Reeves turns in the finished script to The Batman 2 with production set to begin later this year.
Finally!
Yes, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Lois Lane sets off to save Superman, Adrian, in this new clip and teaser for James Gunn's Superman. I give this a thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down.
I mean, I did like a lot of the clip, but her having to save the day, enough's enough already.
So what's up with, you build this fortress in the middle of, the Antarctica or something.
Right.
And then you put like a giant S on the door. Come on, dog. What's that about?
Yeah, it reminds me of the old Batman movie where Bruce Wayne's Wayne Manor has Batman spotlights on the outside. Like,
right.
So no one knows who he is. Why has he got Batman logos on his house? But yes, as your shirt says, Adrian.
Math ain't mathin'.
It ain't mathin'. Marvel releases the final trailer of Fantastic Four First Steps this past week. We see Galactus running through the streets, kicking cars. Yep. We see that something that may be the ultimate nullifier. We see Thing with a beard. We see all kinds of shit. Franklin Richards. I guess a thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to that movie. The New York Times polled over 500 big names in Hollywood to help create a list of top 100 movies of the 21st century. And on this list, the top 2 comic book movies were The Dark Knight and Black Panther, Dark Knight winning. I actually give this whole thing a thumbs up. I think it's a cool little exercise, and it gave us something to talk about. So I'm going to be positive today.
Sure, let's go with that.
The list itself, though, massive thumbs down.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. And then Ironheart. Ironheart was being review bombed, Adrian, before it was even released on streaming. I give this a massive thumbs down. You don't like it, don't watch it. Don't fucking ruin it for everyone else, though.
I mean, I would have... I give the review bombing a thumbs down, but I probably would have been one of those people that'd be like, "Oh my God, this is looking pretty bad."
Yeah. So if you saw it though,
I did see it.
Yeah.
But
you wouldn't review bomb before you saw it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
After a series of misses that only rivals the DCEU's track record, Adrian, Sony has decided to put the Sony SPidermanless Spider-Man universe out of its misery. Or maybe they just paused all plans. But either way, I give that a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Oh, she's getting taller over there.
Yep.
Spider-Man Brand New Day cinematographer has shared some very interesting images to his Pinterest account, a little Spider-Man mood board. I'm liking this. I give it a thumbs up.
We go with that. Thumbs up. As I'm tooling around in my chair.
We don't rehearse this, by the way. We just go live. Star Wars Rogue One director Gareth Edwards lies and says his movie isn't the best of the Star Wars movies from the Disney era. I just thumbs down. You're lying, dude.
Thumbs up. He's been humbled.
Okay,
he's been humbled.
Maybe he's trying to get back into the fold.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals leak has revealed that Blade and Phoenix will be added to the game in season 3. If this is true, I give it a thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah, unless we add Ratchet and Clank, you don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
All right. Moving on. All right, that's thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know how you feel. If you agree with us, if you don't. If you don't, we're going to be so upset. We're going to sit here and cry all day. Or we probably are not really going to give a fuck because we are here for our entertainment, not yours. All right. We have a new segment here. We started last week because, as you described, my movie watching tendencies is all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. I say on top of that, I agree with that part. I'm also very selective.
Sure.
I only watch a handful of movies. I'm movie bougie, Adrian. It's got to be critically acclaimed and artsy and all these things.
Right.
But we have a segment called
Finally!
I like our new sound clip to The Rock, This is where I finally watch a movie that just about everyone else has seen.
Okay.
Right. So I'm on this MonsterVerse kick, dude.
All right.
Last week I watched Godzilla, 2014 version. I watched Kong Skull Island, which I really enjoyed. And then this past week, everybody was glazing these 2 movies. My boy John Bon Von was like, Godzilla King of Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong. It's lit, he says. Now, you have seen all of these MonsterVerse movies, right? So before I get into my thoughts, Godzilla King of the Monsters. This is the one where he basically becomes King of the Monsters, fights all the other fucking monsters, right? And then Godzilla versus Kong. Did you like both of
them? So I've been a lifelong fan of Godzilla and King Kong lifelong.
Okay.
So I don't think that really they could make a bad movie because it's all cheesy. But there's just different levels of cheesy.
Okay.
So I like both movies. Okay. I like all the movies.
Would you say these are almost like a guilty pleasure type movie? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like they're fun.
Yeah.
But going into it, you're not about to watch like The Godfather or something.
No.
Dude, the plot's gonna be whatever the fuck it needs to be.
Correct.
The action's gonna be insane.
Yeah.
The acting is gonna be okay-ish at times. But it's gonna look and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, and I've not been a lifelong Godzilla or Kong fan. I've always kind of knew about them. I actually liked playing with Godzilla toys more than watching the movies when I was a kid, right? Okay. I always had I never knew who any of the characters were, but they would just fight, dude, and Godzilla would always win. I didn't realize the type of power that Godzilla had. Is that I always thought he was like a fire-breathing dragon, but it's like almost electricity type of how would you describe his power?
It's think about it like a radioactive laser.
Okay.
Because he was supposedly born as a result of the atomic bombs.
Got it.
And so that's what his power stems from. It's nuclear, basically.
Okay. Wow. That makes sense. So, all right, I seen these two for the first time. I would say that Godzilla versus Kong was slightly better than Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie franchise, and someone said this in the comments, I forget who it was, but if you look at it through the same lens that you watch the Fast and Furious movies through, then you can really enjoy these.
Sure.
Like, you're going to see some outrageous stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The math ain't going to be mathing for a lot of it.
Right.
And you just kind of accept it.
Yep.
Right? Like, the one thing that got me is I think one of the hardest things with these types of movies is juggling the monsters and the human characters.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if it's just the monsters fighting, eventually people will get bored.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just the human stories, like, you better make them really fucking interesting.
Better be some Godfather shit.
Exactly. And a lot of times it's not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of got to juggle those two. And what happens is there's a lot of scenes where the human characters are doing things that are impacting the monsters' battles.
Right.
And they're right there, dude. Here's like the line of death, and they're right here. Mm-hmm. The buildings are crashing, cars are flying, and they're just walking in the perfect path to not get hit by anything. Anything. Sure. Nothing even ricocheting, no like after effect. It's just, so some of that I'm like, all right, can we maybe back them up a little bit and stop acting like luck is just always on their side? But then you watch things like the Fast and Furious, and I saw this clip on TikTok. I found an account that points out all of the most ridiculous stunts in Fast and Furious.
Oh wow.
You remember this one where I think it was the 9th movie maybe, where Dom is in his Charger. It's one of the newer ones. He's a Hellcat. He's got Letty in the passenger seat, and they're driving. Yeah, it's when he's chasing down his brother, John Cena. And he jumps off the cliff, and the tire hooks onto some like grappling hook on the bridge, and literally come on. He swings across. And, come on.
Or when he what is it? He's on the hood of a car and he jumps across.
Yeah, Pawlak. Yeah,
jumps across a fucking
he
bridge
runs up
intersection.
the thing that's falling off the aisle. He runs up the damn. Oh yeah, you're talking about when he lands on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
Yes, one highway to the next.
Yeah.
And then the Paul Walker one where he runs up the bus.
Yeah.
And jumps at the right moment and grabs onto the spoiler.
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude. So anyways, but you see some of that in here.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, you should.
You expect it here.
Exactly.
But I guess if you look at this movie the same way you look at those movies, you can enjoy these.
Yeah.
But dude, the fights were phenomenal. Like, and what's funny, what I did like about this is it weirdly ties into a lot of the shit we talk about on other stuff. Like in King of the Monsters, the mom is communicating with Mothra using this device and using frequencies.
Yeah,
we talked about frequencies, right? When we went over Sinners and a lot of these other things. And I would say King of the Monsters the movie starts off a lot better than the Godzilla movie. I think they learned that no one wants to wait 54 minutes to see the monster.
Right.
If it's a monster movie, put them motherfuckers in the movie.
Right.
I would say this though, it's still not as good as Kong Skull Island. I think that's one of the gems of this.
Yeah.
Like so far, I think that's the best movie of this series, right? Now, these movies have more action, better fights, but as a movie, quality movie, I think Kong Skull Island you can watch on its own and enjoy.
Sure.
These movies, it's like you want to just keep watching this one, then watch that. But what's cool is they did build out a nice little cinematic universe. And there's another one coming out in 2027, which I'm sure is going to be crazy over the top.
Sure.
Now that they're a big tag team, That's the last one. I got to watch the one where they team up. And then I guess they team up again in 2 years. So
no, you got to watch Godzilla +1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's not connected to these.
No, that's like back in the World War II days or something like that.
I saw it on Max. I haven't watched. You like that one?
Yeah.
Would you say that's a better movie than most of these?
I wouldn't say better.
Okay.
It's different.
Got it.
It's almost like the Fantastic Four is going retro.
Yeah.
So they're going kind of like back in time.
Okay. Now, I would give this movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, 6.5, honestly. It was good, but not didn't knock my socks off, as they say.
Sure.
Visually, I'd give it like an 8.5. It looked cool. And then Godzilla versus Kong. this movie, they played off the whole Hollow Earth theory a lot more. They even went into the Earth more. Like they did a little bit in the one before this, but in this movie, they went to where Kong was actually from. That was cool. The CGI is a little iffy. It's not like Kong looked a little funny in this, to be honest. But it was cool seeing monsters that size fighting, which again, with Fantastic Four coming out in a couple weeks in Galactus, they can do this with an ape and a damn giant lizard.
Right.
They can do some cool shit with Galactus. I also like the Antarctica inclusion too. Like it's like they play off these actual conspiracy theories that we talk about every fucking week, and they tie it into the story. So maybe it's not that far fetched, dude.
I'm telling you, if you watch movies across time, you know, there's a lot of stuff that they put in these movies. It's like I'm telling without telling.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. So all in all, dude, I'm enjoying this MonsterVerse. I can't wait to watch the next one. It's like Godzilla and Kong something. Did you see the one that came out last year?
Which is what?
Let's see, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. This is the one where Godzilla almost has like a crown. Rebecca Hall's in it, so the same doctor. And then is Millie Bobby Brown in it again? You have the girl from Stranger Things in here too. Yeah, this one came out last year. You remember this one or no?
No.
All right, so maybe you haven't seen it either. Maybe it's gonna be finally for you too, Adrian.
So what is it? What's the synopsis?
It's the synopsis is Godzilla and the almighty Kong face a colossal threat hidden deep within the planet, challenging their very existence and the survival of human race. So it sounds like a lot of it takes place in the Hollow Earth.
Actually, I think I did see that. That's when they met up with the other giant gorillas and shit.
Okay.
So.
All right, so you have seen. Did you like this one too?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
All right, well that would be the last one on this finally list for me of the MonsterVerse, and then give me your other. I know I have the Gladiator. What was it? Predator. People want me to watch, dude. It's like all these movies. When did these come out? I mean, God, it's like
long time ago.
Okay, so it's been a minute. So I'm a little out of the loop, is what they say. All right, so we're going to wrap up finally with another round of What the Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. All right, so I got the Rotten Tomatoes scores for both of these movies, and this is how this works, if you don't remember from 10 minutes ago. We're going to look at the critic score versus the audience score and let you know which one we think is more accurate. All right, so Godzilla King of the Monsters. The critics score on Rotten Tomatoes is 42% for this movie, and the audience score is 83%. So you got one that's crazy low and one that's glazing the fuck out of this movie. I'd have to say the audience is closer to the real score, though.
I would agree.
Like, it ain't down at a 42, but it definitely ain't no 83. All right, and then Godzilla versus Kong. The critic score for this movie on Rotten Tomatoes is 76. The audience score is 91. I'm going to go with the critics on this.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Comic moments. Hey, dude, we're like rapid fire today, dude. This is like, we're in a fucking zone, as they say. All right, so this week on Comic Moments, we had somebody a few weeks ago ask about what happens to Wanda after, what's it called? House of M. Remember we reviewed House of M here?
Yeah.
Reviews House of M, and that was when Wanda fucked shit up for a while, right? And then she went out in hiding and all that stuff, and yada, yada, yada. You can go back and check that one out if you don't remember. But there is a story that I've told you about this, the Children's Crusade, right? And let me give you a little synopsis before we go through the actual visuals. So, Children's Crusade was a Marvel miniseries by Alan Heinberg and Jim Chung. It was centered on Wiccan and Speed, which are Scarlet Witch's made-up sons, right? Which we've seen a lot of this in the MCU. Right. We've at least seen Wiccan. We haven't seen Speed yet. They're searching for their mother. Now, some key things in this story. Wiccan, so he starts to fear that he might lose control of his powers just like Wanda did in House of M, okay? So his goal is to find his mother. And of course, the Avengers, the X-Men, you know what they do in situations like this is like, we gotta kill this motherfucker, right? So they haven't got there yet, but we know where this is going.
Sure.
The Young Avengers, they team up, Magneto shows up, and this all stuff I'm trying to figure out a quicker way to get through comic moments, if you can't tell. Magneto, Quicksilver, they track down Wanda, and you know where she's at, dude? In Latveria.
Oh,
yes, where she is powerless and engaged to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom, bro. I mean, if there was a Diddy in the MCU, it might be Doctor Doom, bro.
I don't know. It'd be a toss up between him and Magneto.
Yes, yeah. Between the two of them, dude. Shit, don't go to that party.
Right. Or Xavier with his mind probes.
Yes. It is revealed that Wanda lost her memory, right? Doom's been manipulating her. He claims that they were in love. Dude, he's just...
Wow.
And he helped her rediscover herself, okay? This is what he's claiming. Yes, but actually what happened, believe it or not, Doom stole her powers, okay? Which she previously used to alter reality. He combined them with his own, making himself godlike again. And he claims he wants to fix all reality, but as usual, his ego gets in the way. X-Men, Young Avengers, and Avengers, they all unite to stop Doom. There's a big battle, and then Wanda regains her memory and helps kind of depower Doom, right? So a couple of big things in this. Doom almost becomes a literal god again, just like he does in Secret Wars. Scarlet Witch gets her redemption arc in this story for the most part, because she does, in House of M, if you remember, she says no more mutants, and for a long time, there isn't even a new mutant born in the Marvel Universe. So she actually, in this comic, gives a lot of mutants their powers back. So she's trying to reverse this. And then you see, Doom's obsession with power, which typically cost him another victory. Like, dude, he's got a thing where he just, it becomes too much.
Right.
And then his obsession with being in control and being a god ends up backfiring.
It's like, for him, it's like everything or nothing.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, let me pull. And the thing about this comic is there's definitely some really cool visuals in here. And it was just nice too, because that was the one complaint about the House of M was like, where the fuck's Wanda now? Like we should have been out of shit for a long time. So, all right, pull up our super source. So here's a cover here.
Nice.
Yes. So artwork's pretty cool throughout. It was funny, there's a note here. You probably can't read the note, but it says that because work began on this series many months ago, there's some seeming discrepancies as regarding the attire of certain characters. So basically, they wrote this, and because of the timing of it, there's some shit that's inconsistent. I've never seen that in a comic where like, hey, we fucked up. There's some things the math ain't gonna math on some things, but just kind of roll with it. Right. So, this is a shot of the new Avengers here. You got Kate Bishop in the front. So this is something that we're seeing a lot of these characters in the MCU already. You got Vision down there, Ms. Marvel, Iron Man, Cap. So a lot of the big players are in here. And this is a scene where Wiccan uses his powers. And this is where the other teammates start to say like, there might be some problems here. And then they kind of go through the history of Scarlet Witch, and you see the Magneto stuff in the background. And then Magneto shows up. Dude, this is a nice drawing here of Magneto. Dude, Magneto's power is something too that we've never seen done looking like this on screen.
Right.
It's always like invisible force fields, right? Like I hope that when we do see him back,
because
like
magnetism is like an invisible force.
Right.
But we've also talked about his power set, which means that he can control many other things other than just like Storm.
Yep.
They can control things other than what everybody knows them for.
Correct. And I think the budgets back then wouldn't allow them to do some shit like this. Wolverine's in the fold because he always is, right? And this is where they find Wanda. They're fighting. She gets stabbed or impaled pretty much. And they realize it's just a Doom bot, actually. And that's when they go, oh, shit, she's got to be with Doom then, right?
Right.
And there he is. He's got his all hands all over her, fucking Doom, literally. Well, it happens, dude.
Yeah.
I like Doom's design in this comic. He's just a badass looking character too. Like to your point, you pointed out that when they did the Robert Downey Jr. reveal, the green, it was green and a little too much, right? Like something like this would look good, like a darker green.
Like a darker green. And
his costume doesn't need to be that elaborate. Like simple with Doom works.
Right.
So they're showing up to Latveria, and you do see in this comic that Wiccan is just about as powerful as his mother, which we saw in Agatha, one of the bright spots of Agatha.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. She whooped his ass real quick. Dr. Doom shows up, so he ain't having it because he's realizing they're about to unfold his plan. They're gonna realize what the fuck's going on. Dr. Doom is powerful as shit. That's the thing when people are like, it's just a suit. Now it's a lot more than a suit.
Yeah.
It ain't just armor, dude. He's got he's master of the mystic arts.
Yes.
And he's evil. So put that in there. Avengers show up. Like this Cap design here too. Are you a fan of Cap with the scales? I don't know why, but you see that in a lot of the comics, and we saw that in Endgame.
To me, they've always been there.
Yeah.
So
I'm just kind of running through these real quick. It was the big battle at the end. This was a cool shot here. And then, of course, Wolverine, he's ready to kill everybody, because that's his solution. Like, just fucking kill her, right? Now, the reason I want to go through this is something that they could do in the MCU. Similar. Like,
sure.
We've not had a Molecule Man yet. Now, there could be one in the background, right? But from a power standpoint, Doom can accomplish what Doom does in the comic version of the Secret Wars in the MCU with Scarlet Witch's power.
Sure.
Reality warping, right?
Yeah.
You can make that, you can create worlds just like she did. Now, I think her power plus his would be amplified enough to create a battle world or something like that. So this is a cool part of this comic where they go back in time because Wanda's memory is gone. So she don't remember attacking the Avengers. She don't remember, the whole no more mutant shit. So they bring her back in time to when the incident actually happened.
Okay.
And if you remember, Jack of Hearts showed up and he exploded. That was how the Avengers Disassemble started.
Right.
So they go back to this actual moment. So this was kind of how they refreshed her memory. And then, of course, it worked, right? And Scarlet Witch is back. And this is where you learn that, Doom's been controlling her the whole time. Some of these just shots are cool as shit. With Wanda's power. Wanda's power is something I think they did a real good job of in the MCU, you know? And this is, I encourage anyone who's read House of M to check this out. There was a rumor that, and actually if you remember this cover here, there was a rumor that was based around this cover, this book, that Scarlet Witch was going to be that power force for Doom. That they may do that story where, they're married or whatnot. Nice little battle here. There's a cool shot where this is where Doom basically tries to steal the rest of her power. And then when he does, he comes back looking like this, dude. Fixes his face, got the white garment on.
I mean, that's really been on the thing with Doom. It's like Bruce Wayne. It's like you got all this money. Just fucking fix your face, dude.
Right.
Why can't you fix your face?
Well, he tried, and here's what happened, dude. So he's got a little power overload going on, and look what happens right there. His skin starts burning up. So he used all his power to fix his face.
Right.
This is kind of like Doom. This is definitely Doom-like, right? Abusing the power, now it backfires. Now your face is all fucking burnt up again. And I believe there is a comic death in here, this is Cassie Lang, Ant-Man's daughter or whatnot. So, all right, well, that's comic moments. I definitely, like I said, really enjoyed that comic. Now, House of M and Disassembled they're a lot better than the story. But the cool part about this is you get to see Wanda's redemption, which I didn't spoil I didn't go through every page by page because there's some cool scenes in there that so I highly recommend. Check this out. I think it's 9 issues. You can get it it's hard to find as a graphic novel. I did find a copy on Amazon, but how do you feel about that idea in the MCU, Wanda, Doom, and using her as that Molecule Man type of power force instead of introducing a Molecule Man?
Why not?
Right?
I mean, you switch from King to somebody else. I mean, so it's possible. Yeah. It would allow them to continue on with Wanda, who we've already seen. We already understand her powers and stuff. Right. Like you said, you don't have to reinvent or reintroduce a new character, Molecule Man, and explain his shit all over again. Correct. Right. Of course, the power set and actually what Doom can do, how he would look would be different, but he would still have a vast amount of power.
Sure.
So,
all right, Ironheart. Speaking of vast amount of power, this girl's powerful. She was ripping elevators apart with her bare hands.
I don't understand. I don't. The math ain't mathing, Mike.
No, it's not, dude. It's not. Now, it's funny because we talked earlier in the week where at this point I had seen the first episode and I fell asleep watching the second and I was like, I don't know about this show. And you were like, I saw all three, but I got to rewatch it because I don't know about this show, right?
Yep.
Now, before we dig into it, first 3 episodes, in a nutshell, how do you feel about them?
I have mixed feelings about this show. It wasn't, when I first saw it, I was kind of, in and out, right? Watching it. Meaning I was kind of like sleeping through parts of it. So when I woke up, I would see things that didn't make sense.
Okay.
So that's why I had to go back and watch them again. And after watching them for the 3 episodes, still mixed feelings. It's not as bad as like a Madam Web.
No.
But it is not my favorite.
No.
I'll say that.
What let's start with the positive. What did you like about it?
What did I like about it? Nothing really stood out, dude.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of like a neutral movie to me. It's I wasn't excited about anything.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff pissed me off. A lot of things didn't make any sense. So I liked it less. I liked it less more than I liked it.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
What were the worst parts about it?
It's like somebody pulled these actors aside and say, hey, everything that's stereotypical black, do that or say that.
Right.
The face twitching, the rolling of the eyes, the fucking and just everything, dude. It's like, it was kind of disrespectful.
Okay.
I would say.
Got it. I do think I felt they tried to lean too much into the social media, the TikTok culture with a lot of the phrases, the meme stuff. Like, I get they're supposed to be younger and they probably would, but to your point, let's not make it every single line has to be a funny inside joke.
Right.
And so I'll answer the same questions I asked you. What did I like about it? I like the practical suit. I'm glad we moved away from the nanotech. I mean, obviously that's Iron Man's deal, but like I like seeing a suit that she pops out of and hops in. That's cool. I like the Obadiah Stane kind of follow up, right? He was only in the first Iron Man movie. He was killed fighting Tony, and he does have a son in the comics, as I introduced to a lot later, who is Zeke. I did like that reveal. That was cool. I do like Dominique Thorne as Riri. I think she does a great job with that character. I don't like, so that's what I liked. And then Hood, I like the Hood. Okay. I like him. Parker Robbins' character, it's intriguing. It has almost like has a supernatural horror element to it, which we all believe is leading to Mephisto, which seems like a natural progression with this show. So what I don't like, I don't like the AI at all.
Right.
And maybe it's going to be a big reveal that's going to make it make sense. So I'm a little hesitant to, take a giant shit all over it. But right now it's feeling like a post-shower shat, Adrian. It's feeling like it's necessary, right? Because you have to take the shat.
Right.
But you'd prefer not at this time.
Right.
And that's kind of like, I know you need the AI there, but I prefer maybe not this version, right?
Yeah.
So
the sassy, the attitude,
yes, a little much.
Just showing up whenever, disrupting things. It's just too much. Then demanding, I'm gonna hold you hostage.
Right.
And I'm gonna demand we hang out as friends and shit.
Correct. It's a little much. Or the glitching when a cop shows up.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Come on. Really? And I don't that to me, to quote your shirt, the math ain't mathin'. If I'm a child genius and I have this suit and I accidentally create an AI of my former best friend who was killed, the last thing I'm going to do is ignore it and go do other shit.
Right.
I'm going to find out why that happened.
Right.
Right? Like, I would be like, wait a minute, I was trying to do this And that happened.
And she still has this unanswered question of how is it that you knew all of this stuff that my best friend knew?
She's just going about her business like nothing. That I think is stupid. Like, it's like, you put a turkey in the oven and then it comes out and it's a prime rib.
Right.
You're like, wait a minute.
That would be something.
I'm not going to let's just eat it, forget about it. Like, hold on, bro. I'm going to start pulling the oven apart. You're like, what the fuck happened?
No, what would happen is that would be an empty house because I would be in that motherfucker in
Yes, there you go. So if I made an AI that was supposed to do one thing and it started doing another, I'm going to figure it the fuck out before we just go about our lives, So that, I don't. Now, maybe this is a theory. Could the AI turn out to be a little more than what meets the eye, Adrian? Could it be, we got the supernatural thing. We got maybe Mephisto. Could the AI be possessed?
Yes.
So then that would explain the nonsense, right?
Yes.
So that's why I'm hesitant to, like I said, take a big ass shed on it. But as of right now, since I asked myself this, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And this is not an anti anyone thing. I'm just confused at why there's a drag queen on the team.
Right.
I don't know that if we're going stereotypical, right? Like, you want to live in this stereotypical world. That group of people, I don't think there's a drag queen on the team. I don't know.
Well, also, I mean,
and she can't act.
There's that, but why do you have basically twins and everything has to be this long drawn out fight, with them in it?
Correct.
I mean, if you just walk in and shoot the people, there's no fighting involved.
Yes.
You got to do all this flipping and jumping and punching and all this kind of stuff. Just dart them and go about your business.
It literally feels like this. They have like this demographic box, right? And they just have to check you got female, you got black, you got Hispanic, you got white, you got LGBT, you got twins now, right? We gotta have twins represented. Next thing you know, you got to have a little person. Like, are you doing it because this fits the story, or are you doing it to just check a box?
I'm thinking they checking boxes.
Right.
Dude.
And this is straight, dude. I mean, you know me well. None of this is like, I don't like this people. That it's just, I don't understand why we have that approach where everything has to check all boxes.
Right.
Like, if you're making Black Panther, for example, should they change people that live in Wakanda to be white just for inclusion? No, I don't think so.
No.
But why, when we do we have to check that box, that box? So to me, that's a little much.
Yeah.
Now, but I'm also, if the story's good, the story's good. Those won't be my favorite. It's not going to be a reason for me not to watch it.
Right.
But it's noticeable.
Yes.
Like, this person is in here just because they're trying to appeal to another demographic, I believe.
Yep.
Which, I mean, who knows, right? I don't know. I'm noticing it, okay? Call me the Noticer, Adrian. It's a new name. Look at that. The Unaliver, a.k.a. the Noticer. All right, so...
be calling you the Watcher.
Yes.
Yeah. Nah, we won't do that to you.
No, we're not. You wouldn't do that to me?
No.
I appreciate that. Of the 3 episodes, which episode did you like the most? I like the third.
Yeah, I go with the third. Because at the end she really realized that she screwed up.
Yeah.
By dropping that
the drive.
Yeah. Well, not only that, because she dropped the tech that
the tech that has
the stand.
Yeah. Which he was so worried about his fingerprints on shit. That was funny too. He's like, you haven't touched any of this stuff? Well, yeah, like one time. And then of course she drops it. So now his spot's gonna be blown up because he's trying to hide Zeke in the shadow of his father. He even has a whole different name. I liked his character, but there's something about him, dude.
Right.
Like, he seems like he's got some evil to him, Adrian. I think.
Well, but there's also, for me, there's another reason that he's even in the show. And it's like, Black people can't succeed unless they have a white person helping them.
White teammate.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah. What I do like, though, is that is their tie back to Iron Man. Because in the comics, Riri Williams has a direct tie to Tony Stark.
Yep.
And then because they decided to unalive off Tony Stark, they can't do that here.
Right.
Which you're like, then why did you introduce this character? But hey, whatever. But I do like that you got Obadiah Stane's son, who we never knew about, to kind of connect back to that to Stark Industries in some way, shape, or form. So, and I mean, I don't know who the guy is, but it seems like a good actor. I think he could take that character somewhere. Sure. And I think they have a good dynamic, those two on screen.
Yeah.
They're entertaining together, which is cool. So my least favorite episode was the first episode.
Yeah, it's just a lot of nonsense.
It was. It was like
the whole thing, everything about it.
The whole MIT stuff I could have done without.
Yep.
Like, why does she have, and this is to your point, a stereotype, why does she have to steal the suit? And then some consistency here. She's a genius, right? Everyone's telling her she's a genius. If she's such a genius, why would she steal the suit and not know that the AI was going to be cut off since it's owned by the school, right? Why? Like, to me, that's not genius behavior.
Why would she even build that into the suit?
Correct. Knowing that she was doing all this shit on the side that could potentially, like, it's not like she got like framed. She was helping, she was cheating, right? Making some money,
right?
Knowing that this could potentially screw my, so if you know you're doing that, you're going to put in some kind of safety, checks for yourself, right?
Exactly. Some protection for you.
Correct.
Not for somebody else.
Right. You're such a genius. You're creating this portal and shit for this guy and all the force fields, you're doing all that, but you couldn't figure out a way to keep the school's AI out of your suit, So I just think it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
And look, the little kid with the car, like we just want to get the funny kid in here. Like, come on. This is where this is an idea which they're probably going to steal, Adrian, and we're probably not going to get any credit for. But I've said to you probably since these shows started, these Marvel shows typically feel like long movies, not shows, right? Okay. You've heard me say this.
Yep, absolutely.
So I believe that the reason they put them out in shows, one of the reasons is obviously more views, more shows. But if they were to do this idea, I think people would maybe look down on them. Like, you remember, you brought up this term here, straight to VHS. Remember, straight to video movies.
Yep. Straight to DVD.
Straight to DVD, right? Straight to Blu-ray. Like this, what it means is we got a movie for you. It ain't going to be good enough to go to the theater to see.
Right.
But you can buy this DVD and watch it at home. That is what these shows have become for me.
Yeah.
This would not have been a movie. They made it a long show. But how about, why don't you just make it a movie and go direct to streaming? What's wrong with that?
And speaking of that, it's like they show the movie as being like 45 minutes long. And it's actually a 20-minute movie.
Correct.
By the time you take out the post credits, which is like, the video is this long, but if you take out the stuff in the middle and then the stuff at the end, you got like a 20-minute movie.
Right. Let's say 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. So you got 2 episodes, that's 50 minutes, right? Then you got 75 minutes is 3.
Yep.
So you add those up, you're getting close to about probably 2.5 hours of time. And you can cut out some unnecessary shit. You can have a 2-hour movie you put straight to streaming. You don't have to do credits every fucking show.
Right.
You don't have to create nonsense backstory to fill up time. Just give us a good movie and drop it. I would have preferred that over this.
Well, if you did that, you wouldn't be able to bring the audience back for the mini commercials
there you
that
go.
They pump in front of you.
Yes, there you go. So we figured out their strategy. But I think the 3rd episode was the best. I like where it's going, and I just don't like how we got there, I guess.
Yeah.
Some of the action was cool. The suit, the flying, like that stuff. It was cool to see that stuff again.
She seems awfully capable in that suit.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes. Yeah, it's like, how long has she been doing this? She's pretty much an expert. But I do like how do you feel about the Hood stuff? I know you're not a fan of him as the actor, right? The Hood guy. But how do you feel about the whole darkness of the cape and where that's going, potentially Mephisto?
It's mid, dude. It's like it's not, nothing in this movie stands out to me.
Got it. All right. Well, there you have it. So for the first 3 episodes, if I was giving this a score out of 10, I would give it I'd say probably 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I don't think that's bad. It's a little above mid. What about you?
I probably the same.
Okay. Yeah, a little better than mid.
Yeah.
But who knows, dude? Maybe the next 3 episodes, Adrian, are just going to blow us away. Maybe.
Hopefully.
All right, moving on to We Respond, Adrian.
Yes.
They comment, we respond. It's how it works. You know, like about the show is the math usually maths. And it's simple math, right? Like a simple concept. You comment, we'll handpick your comments and respond.
There you go.
I do got some. I got some naughty ones this week, Adrian.
Oh,
I got some people, as we call them here, they're haters, Adrian. They get butthurt at things we say or do. It's like, how the fuck does that affect you?
Right.
But we're gonna find out. So, but we'll start with some good ones. We got our boy. We shout out to all the interns. So we'll start with some of the interns. OG Dirte, he's got a handful this week. He says, "What up, Mike and Adrian? Just to be clear, I could care less about the alphabet people or whatever they do in their bedroom. Last week, I was only speaking on the character in Ironheart, not the person. I am a black man and an uncle and a normal straight guy. I didn't grow up reading comics with that type of content. I'm not telling people what to watch, but I won't be watching Ironheart. I don't think Ironheart content is appropriate for kids. Okay. Just saying you don't have to use content like that." And then he says that, he goes on and says, I think I'll stick to playing Marvel Rivals and watch less Disney Marvel. And I mean, hey, listen, I respect his opinion. I see what you're saying. And we talked a little bit about it earlier. I don't think it's inappropriate for kids because I don't think there's anything sexual in the show. I mean, drag queen, it's easy to explain. To me, that doesn't, I don't feel like, oh, they shouldn't see this. It's just when, I don't think they should see anything sexual at a certain age, right? Sure. I just don't think it fits that story. It's weird, the inclusion part of that, but that's me. He also says, having comic book debates are the best. Y'all know James Gunn be tripping like he is at his hair. Dude, his hair is something, dude. It's like that, Something About Mary. Remember that movie with the hair gel? Maybe he's using I hope not.
Continuous stream.
Yes. He says, I think I figured out why the DCEU failed. They failed because we didn't get Martha versus Martha.
There you go.
DC fans be happy. I saw a rumor that Sony was buying WB.
Wow.
I mean, at this point, would you trust Sony with WB more than? No, I don't.
Not
Let DC do its thing. DJ Super Soldier, AWOB, dude. It's like he knew I was gonna wear the shirt. Adrian.
There you go.
Couple comments this week. Adrian, thanks for doing my hidden gem suggestion on Misty Knight. As ever, the detail, thought, and delivery you put in the hidden gem is God level. Appreciate you.
Nice.
And you got another hidden gem coming up next, by the way. Stay tuned. Punisher and Spider-Man, I'm all for it, but I really hope they don't strip him back. Punisher is a menace and brutal in the Netflix show, and Daredevil, just hope they keep the energy. Yeah, I think they can do that in a PG-13 environment still. Like we saw, speaking of the Batman, there was a lot of implied violence that wasn't in your face. Like if you remember when he's suffocating the guy, like that's pretty brutal, and they just kind of blur it out somewhat. So you can walk that line of not being rated R, but not toning the character down.
Right.
Obviously, you can't be dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds like we do here.
Yeah,
but,
like the president.
Yeah. Big, beautiful F-bombs. I think they can manage that as long as they go that grounded route. And I think based off what we saw from the mood board, it seems like a perfect environment or mood, if you will, to slip Punisher in. Then he says, Mike, I think we need I'm a Yappa on a t-shirt. Yeah, definitely. I should wear that one. James Gunn watched Only Comics Versus segment, loved it. Then he got mad because he didn't think of it. Now he shits on it. Yes.
Wow.
He says Blade 3 has Triple H in it. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's another series that people have suggested I finally watch is the Blade series.
Okay.
So you probably agree with them on that, right?
Yeah, sure.
You liked all 3, or did you not like the third one?
I like the third one less.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still good.
Yeah, it was still okay.
Which one was your favorite first?
The first one, definitely.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be next on the list. And Randy Orton as Bane, dude is Jack right now. I could see that. Randy Orton, you know who Randy Orton is.
Wrestler. He's a wrestler, yeah.
Yes. Dude, he's fucking massive now. So the Captain Canada, AWOB. Yes, hey fellas. So I grew up with DC mainly because of Superman, Batman, then got into Marvel in the 90s with their animated shows. Then the MCU movies, and I agree. MCU is far superior. It has been for years. Hope Gunn turns things around, and I do too. Like we talk a lot of shit. Like I just the difference between us and a lot of people is we're honest. Most people don't like to admit that the MCU is better. It is fucking better.
Sure, absolutely.
But the best thing for everyone, all comic fans, would be the DCU to be just as good, if not better.
Absolutely.
You talk about about wrestling.
The Whopper versus the Big Mac.
Right.
You gotta have it.
Yep. Actually, which one's better in your opinion?
The Whopper.
The Whopper? Yeah.
I don't fuck with the Big Mac at all.
No, really?
Nah. Never have. That was since I first had it. I don't like the special sauce.
You don't like the special sauce, dude? Damn.
Mayonnaise with some relish in it.
It's like Thousand Island or something. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's good. It's special though.
Sure.
But if you go to McDonald's, what's your order? What are you getting?
I'm usually getting if I'm feeling light, I do like the fish fillet.
Okay.
But I'll typically do like
your quarter pounder guy or chicken sandwich.
No, I do like a double cheeseburger or something. Okay. You know, because the meat gives me like that flimmy shit after. So I mean, that's why. First of all, I only go like once a quarter.
Right.
But then when I do, special occasion. Yeah. But then when I do, it's like just you coughing up fucking phlegm all day.
So you can't eat it before you come here.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Is Burger King the Whopper you go to?
I'll do like the Whopper. I'll do the double Whopper.
Oh shit. Living on.
I won't go. I haven't hit that Impossible Burger or unnamed burger or whatever the fuck that thing is yet. But I'll go to Burger King before I go to McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah. But I like the burgers from Burger King.
Yep.
Give me the French fries from McDonald's and the apple pie.
Ooh.
What
Hershey
else?
pie is good though.
And then I'll get the smoothie from Wendy's.
Frosty.
The Frosty from Wendy's.
Okay.
And I wouldn't fuck with Taco Bell at all. I just eliminate Taco Bell out of that trip.
No.
Because you go to Taco Bell to flush all of that.
Yes. Taco Bell, you're going to have a post-shower, a pre-shower shat. You're going to be shatting while you're shatting at Taco Bell. Right? My go-to, so if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm a Big Mac guy, bro. I love the Big Mac. I love the 2 cheeseburger meal. For some reason, better than the double. Like the 2 separate cheeseburgers, they just, it's the OG.
It feels different, right?
Yeah. Feels like nostalgic,
I agree with that.
I'm wearing this old Batman hat. I might have to go today, bro. I have to get some 2 cheeseburger meal.
There you go.
You ever fuck with any of the chicken sandwiches from any of these places?
Actually, the what is it? The spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's.
Yes. That's the OG. That's probably... they all this, Popeyes, this, that, bro. The Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich is God tier.
Yep. And the chili from Wendy's too. Yeah.
Is Wendy's chili better than Chili's chili?
Since I've never had Chili's chili, I would say yes. Okay. But that shit is top tier.
I might add that to agree to disagree. What does that have to do with comics, Adrian?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
But if you're gonna watch a movie or read a comic, you want to be nourished. You don't want to read a comic on an empty stomach.
Right.
So there you go. That's what it has to do with it. And they're not sponsoring because we are self-sponsored here.
They most certainly are not.
This episode is brought to you by Mike and Adrian.
And I think I'll probably reject a sponsorship from Taco Bell.
Damn. But go back to why we got off on this tangent. If the DCU is successful, it's going to cause the MCU to step their game up.
Absolutely.
Because there's no competition right now.
No.
It's like we talk about wrestling here and there on this show. The best period in wrestling from a fan standpoint, it's all subjective, but one of the best periods.
I was going to say it is subjective.
Yes.
Because I don't even watch wrestling now, but I did when I was younger.
Correct.
That's why I remember all the fathers of these kids today. There were no mothers back then wrestling, but
Yeah, you probably remember Cowboy Bob Orton, who was Randy Orton's dad, right?
Yep.
But there was a time in the early 90s where you had WWF at the time, WCW down south, and then you had ECW, and you had options of quality content. So at that point in time, dude, everybody was on their A game because the competition was crazy. Right. And then Vince went out, bought these guys out, and then you can argue that it was good, but it was up and down a lot more because there's no competition.
Sure.
So I do hope, as much as we like to poke fun at James Gunn here and there, I do hope he turns things around for the DCU.
Yep.
And then he says, I like the 3-episode show, all at once and 3 to end, too long to wait. I do too. That's kind of your point. Like we took it because Ironheart hasn't been that great. It was nice to be able to get through it quicker.
Right.
Because if it sucks, have to wait every fucking week, Jesus. Right. And he says that, hear me out, Bella Ramsey, oh boy, here we go. Bella Ramsey's new MCU role could be Hammerhead, Egghead, Mole Man, and a Vulture variant. Okay. Yes. All right. He said it, not me. Well, I read it, but he said it, I read it. There we go. We'll see y'all Wednesday or Thursday. He says, I think there's an option to schedule a video. Oh, no, I know all about that. The problem is it just wasn't ready yet.
Yeah, right,
I can't schedule something that's not ready. But last week, we're back on Wednesday, Adrian.
Nice.
Yes, we're making Mondays and Wednesdays great again. All right. John Bonvon, he says that, so prime example of why you shouldn't skip anything and watch everything MCU puts out. Misty Knight was in these shows. So you had Misty Knight as your hidden gem last week.
Right.
She was in Luke Cage. Did you remember this? Season 1, Season 2.
No, I don't.
She was in The Defenders, and she was in Iron Fist. And there's some direct references to Misty Knight in Cloak and Dagger, this show. Remember this show? I never really watched it, but they had a Cloak and Dagger show on Hulu. And then in season one, there were some references to her. So, no shit. So, yeah, I guess she was actually, some other people pointed that out too. I've never watched Luke Cage. I watched like half the first episode, and I wasn't into it at the time. Mm-hmm. You like Luke Cage show?
I did. I don't remember Misty Knight though.
Well, you haven't seen it since it originally came out.
No.
Yeah, so we're just have to we'll take John's word for it. You know, he's only let us down once before, so we're not that we're keeping score or anything. But remember that hidden gem he suggested? Jesus.
El Diablo, which ties into this week's hidden gem.
Oh shit! So is he getting like almost redemption in a way?
No.
No, okay.
No.
But we appreciate you, John. All right, Maple Grove, AWOB, love the new segment. I have the same issue as Mike sometimes. Oh, he's talking about the finally. With movies everyone has watched, for example. I've never seen any of the Back to the Future movies or Lord of the Rings. Damn.
Oh,
now,
man.
All right, let's play finally with Maple Grove. If you had to pick one of these franchises for him to watch, Back to the Future or Lord of the Rings?
So they're completely different.
They are. Yeah.
They're completely different.
But if he only has time for one,
I would do Back to the Future.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I've only seen the first Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Which is
great. They degrade.
Okay.
Just like most things.
Got it. But the first one's iconic, dude.
Absolutely.
That's a great movie.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is like, it's thought-provoking. You got to sit and watch it. You got to like be like, shh, everybody shut the fuck up, so I can understand what's going on. It's you got to be, it's exhausting to watch. Back to the Future is more fun.
Got it. Did you like Lord of the Rings?
I did.
Yeah. I've never seen, can you believe this, Adrian? I've never seen one of those movies.
Wow. Yeah, I do believe it at this point.
You're like, what have you actually watched?
Exactly. Batman movies, we know you watch.
Yes. There's so many. There's Lord of the Rings, there's The Hobbit, there's some other shit, there's wizards and this and that, and I don't fucking know.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, dude. So OG says, no, Lord of the Rings, it's a good movie. You should check it out. You know what, OG? You know, I'm going to vote Back to the Future for Maple Grove. All right, Jay shot it. I think Hela would be good in Secret Wars, and we tend to talk about the heroes in Doomsday Secret Wars a lot, but I want to know what villains you want to see come back in those movies, like Hela, Thanos, Ultron, etc. This is a good question. We do always talk about the heroes, right? Cappy's going to be there. I think Hela should return.
Sure.
I'd love to see Thanos. You know why I want to see Thanos in this. You know why.
Why?
I want to see Doom, God Emperor Doom, Soul Snatch, that grimace-looking, ball-sack, chin-having motherfucker just out of his body.
Right.
I want to see that. Ultron, I would like to see Ultron back.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, Loki's not really a villain anymore, but dude, would it be crazy? I guess it would without Tony Stark, but to see Ironmonger return, Obadiah Stane come back. I mean, it's Secret Wars. Anyone can show up.
Nah.
No? What about the Mandarin?
Which the real
exactly.
the real one?
The real one that was in Shang-Chi,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him.
Now, we know Magneto will be back,
Sure.
so that's one already. What about some Spider-Man? I mean, could Green Goblin show back up?
Sure.
Why not, right? Doc Ock, they did a good job with him in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see some of we haven't heard any about that, but I'd like to see some of those Spider-Man villains. And I believe it or not, I think that would be a perfect way to bring Venom into the MCU as well.
Sure.
I mean, even if it has to be the atrocity called the Tom Hardy Venom, but at least when Venom takes over, it's not as bad.
Well, I mean, in the comics, that's actually when Venom came into the comics.
The OG Secret Wars, yep. All right. And he says, I think Punisher and Spider-Man could be peak, especially if we get my boy Daredevil in there for a few scenes. Absolutely. Like we gotta have a Spider-Man Daredevil crossover at some point.
Right.
All right, moving on. Amigo Mio. Sup, Mike and Adrian? I'm back. There should be a Balls in the Lettuce universe starting Kanye West, or starring Kanye West, Diddy, and Bo DeMeo as Thor, Iron Man, and Cap.
Damn.
That's definitely some balls in the lettuce there. With Zack Snyder as a director, sounds like a dream come true.
Nice.
That'll be very slow motion and dark. Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to tell if it's Diddy, Kanye West, or Thor. You fucking can't tell because the lights are out. All right, Bro Man Williams, what's up, Mike and Adrian? He's back. Your boy is still here, my man. We were wondering where he was last week, dude. He returned. I had to move to my new crib. Oh, he's moving. Moving sucks. So I can understand that. Hopefully you were listening to Only Comics while you were driving back and forth, you know. So I missed last week here and other stuff, but your boy is back full throttle now. By the way, what the fuck is a Swiftie? Well, we learned Adrian's not a Swiftie. And he says, if it is what I think it is, then I am a Tupacian. Okay, we had to work on that nomenclature a little bit, Tupacian.
But I think he does understand.
He knows. Yeah. I would call myself a Tupacian as well.
Correct.
Okay. But he says, glad to be back. And as always, AWOB, P.S. I'm trying hard not to cuss. I don't want to get banned. I've been checking too for the ban comments. And he says, bro, I'm a Floridian and I can confirm 65 and we under hoodies and sweatpants down here. You lived there for a while. So did you ever like convert like to no, you weren't there long enough for that to happen.
No, I was there. It's just that it was silly to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you can wear it can get kind of breezy at night sometimes. Yeah. So I would wear like my shorts, my flip-flops, but I would have like a button down with a long sleeve. Okay. And during the day it's rolled up.
Got it.
And then if it got cooler at night, you can just roll it down and you're all set. Okay. But hoodies, coats. I mean, there were people walking around with blankets in the office and shit. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
And it's like 60 degrees out.
Yeah.
Dude, it's 60. I'm wearing...
No, it's like 70 degrees in the building.
God.
And they're walking around with blankets.
I'm still running my AC in 70, dude. I can't take it.
Absolutely.
He says, summers are brutal down here, but I've become accustomed to it. When I lived in Rhode Island, so I used to live in Rhode Island, it's cold like I've never felt before. I commend you and Adrian for living in that cold-ass shit. Trust me, I've been through it. My one and only blizzard, which was enough to convince this old Florida boy to move back to my home state. So he lasted one blizzard up here, dude. Wow. Yeah, we do. We tough it out in the cold, Adrian. It's what we do. Yes. I like it. Let's say I like the cold as much as someone can like the cold.
Yes.
I like the balance. I like it's cold for a few months. It's something for a few months. Right. It's hot as ball sacks for a week. We all almost die. Then it cools down, and then it gets cold again. Yep. I like it.
That's the way it works. Call them seasons.
Yes, there you go.
That or not.
Now so, you know, Broman's a big friend of the show. We got some people, believe it or not, Adrian, that are not friends of the show. But they still watch the show, and they still comment on the show, but they don't like us. Would you watch something that you absolutely hated?
I wouldn't watch something that I just didn't like.
Right.
You know, forget the hate part.
Especially not reoccurring, right? Like you may watch it once and move on, but... So Chaz Ortiz here says, we get it. Y'all hate DC and James Gunn for no reason. That's wrong. And continually show that you are uneducated in comics. That might be right. Especially if you think Warlock and Sentry would beat Superman. They would. Yes, maybe Void would have a chance, but Sentry in the movie fought mostly humans or enhanced humans, which is nothing to Superman. Okay, yeah, but we're not talking about just those individuals. I mean, dude, Sentry's powers, he'd fuck Superman up. Yeah. Sentry Void was also beat by power of friendship. LOL, if you ever heard about Super Friends. Yeah. Anyways, all Gunn said is the conversation was stupid, not the fans. And to be honest, he's right. I'm tired of hearing about Superman analog fights. No, dude, y'all are just glazing. Because that, again, the reason I mean, he's half an idiot, half right. The whole, not the whole fun, but a big part of being a fan of anything are these hypothetical. Like if you're a fan of football,
sure.
If you like some team, I like another team, and they're going to play later in the year. Is it stupid for us to have a conversation about who might win that game?
Right. I mean, it's like anything. If you like cars, is the vet going to be the Mustang? Is the vet going to be the fucking Ferrari? Whatever.
It's just fun.
The price points. You know, is the Corvette the best bang for your buck when it comes to money? You know, is the Ferrari, you know, you're gonna compare stuff to stuff.
Sure.
You know, a vet and a Ferrari not even in the same league.
Correct.
So DC versus Marvel, but you put them together, right?
Right.
So.
And it doesn't mean, I think this is the part where people miss. If I say that Sentry could beat Superman, that doesn't mean that Sentry's a better character.
No.
Or vice versa. And I think that's where they're getting at. Like that's, if you make whoever's the strongest character or the better character, that's stupid. Well, it all depends on your personal opinion.
Right.
You may like the character who is the most intelligent, right? And you may go, he's my favorite because of X, Y, Z.
Right.
I may go, this guy's Batman's my favorite because he would figure out a way to beat everybody.
Sure.
That's okay.
Right. And also I think people are just looking at the raw strength.
Right.
I don't know how powerful Sentry is because he's kind of new on the radar. But let's say Superman can bench press a planet. Cool. And people look at that and they stuck on that.
Right.
But also Sentry is he doesn't have those mental blocks.
Correct.
David beat Goliath.
Yeah.
Goliath was monstrous.
Right.
David beat him with, trickery, basically. Batman can beat Superman off of trickery.
Right.
Pretty much anybody can beat Superman off of trickery.
Sure. Poison Ivy did.
Exactly. So don't just look at the strength.
Right.
When we say these things, we're not just looking at the strength. We're looking at the things that trigger Superman or potentially can stall him, right? Because a microsecond in Superman time is a long fucking time, and that's all Sentry would need.
Correct.
Because Sentry is going to go in.
Absolutely. And we all know if he yells this, it's over anyways, right?
But
to your strength point, like, have y'all never watched a boxing fight or an MMA fight? The stronger guy doesn't always win.
Correct.
How many times have you seen a guy who just because his back is stronger than this other guy, but he lands the right kick. He hits him at the right time. He chokes him out. It's not always about strength. They're like, Flash is faster. Okay, it's not a fucking race. Yeah, if they were having a race, Flash would beat most people, sure.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean he's going to beat Superman in a fight.
Correct.
Fucking lasers or Homelander.
Right.
Laser his fucking head off.
Yep.
Run now, motherfucker. I mean, Ezra Miller might still try to figure out a way.
Oh, boy.
Slap. Oh, then here's the best part. The fucking interns went in on him. Slap was like, oh, yeah, the fun police arrived. And he starts talking shit. And then Maple Grove's like, just because they don't agree with you, they're wrong. Got it. And DJ Super Soldier, who the fuck is this guy? So we appreciate the backup. We had a whole squad, Adrian.
Nice.
So if you're against us, don't fuck with us. Slap a Wrestling also says, my guy's delivering another banger podcast. Another week, another banger, as they say. Agree with you guys. They rushed it compared to compete with Marvel. Oh, yeah, the DCEU.
Oh, yeah.
And they can barely compete with the Monsterverse. That is, we're going to find out later if the Monsterverse is better than the DCEU verse.
Wow.
Yes. Bat vs. Superman was so mid, and the Martha moment might be the worst thing I've seen in a movie. I still stand behind that. The Martha moment is the worst comic book moment, period, which I'll ask you again later, Adrian. So I'm giving you a little heads up of what's coming your way.
Gotcha.
I'll keep y'all updated on my comic reading. I think I'll pick up Batman Hush next. What about Randy Orton as Gore? Yeah, dude, I think Randy Orton can play just about anyone. Gore is definitely a good one. I think cleaned up a little bit, he'd be a badass Bruce Wayne Batman. Question for the GOATs. Have you heard of Marvel characters Mojo and Warpath? Yeah, Mojo Vision guy.
Yes.
He's a big X-Men. He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, he's like a giant head. I mean, he's just a humongous.
Bella Ramsey's going to play Warpath. I mean Mojo. See, I fucked that up. And Warpath this is not the Native American guy, is it?
Yes.
It is, right? Oh, he's first known as Thunderbird.
Yep.
Yes. He was in wasn't he in some movie? Was he in No, that's someone else I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, no, he was in Days of Future Past. He was. Yep. And when the future battles, Warpath is one of the if you remember back, I think he had the red eyes and the little domino mask or whatnot. He's an Apache, a few Native American heroes. That's a perfect example too. Like, if you want to include a Native American character, we got him. We don't need to make Captain America, Navajo Indian. Correct. We can just take, Captain Native American. That doesn't roll off the tongue the same. And then he says, Slapper says, with Marvel making their shows grounded, who are some characters that haven't been done in live action that you would love to see get their own show? I already know you're going to say Alpha Flight. Yeah. That'd be good for a show, though.
A show or a movie?
A show.
Yeah. I'll take either one of them, actually.
I also think that, and maybe this isn't grounded, I think the X-Men would work. I don't want to say better because you could do some cool shit in movies, but I think the X-Men would work phenomenally as a TV show.
Okay.
Like, you have the animated series, there's a lot of characters to juggle. There's a lot of depth. And sometimes what happens in the movies is they focus, not sometimes, all the time, they focus on a few characters, right?
Yeah.
Like the X-Men Fox universe felt like the Wolverine show.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing because I'm a big Wolverine fan, but in the animated series, you get to see every character kind of showcase, right? You could pick one episode out of the series and focus it on each. So I think the X-Men would work as
kind of like the Teen Titans.
Yeah. The Titan show was great. So this is not one that hasn't been done, but I wish they would have continued the Titan show.
Yeah.
What about you? Any other characters you go, hey, this would work great as a show?
No, I can think of off the top of my head.
But I know you'd be big on some Alpha Flight anywhere,
right?
But I think that would be a great show.
Well, I also would like them to introduce the Hellfire Club.
There you go.
You know,
that would work as a show.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of depth to them.
Yep.
And same thing, we saw them in X-Men First Class where you got a small glimpse. Like I don't think they did a horrible job of it, but they could have done a lot more.
Yeah.
Slapper says Mike's reaction to Godzilla is amazing. Who cares about the people? I want to see monsters fuck shit up. Yeah, dude, I can't be alone in that. And Godzilla vs. Kong, that was my shit. What I didn't say about Godzilla vs. Kong earlier was I did say the visuals were great, but I love the neon. Like they're fighting, I think it was Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So you had that backdrop with all the neon lights.
Yeah.
It just looked awesome. Because that is my other complaint about the Godzilla movies in general is they're too fucking dark.
Really?
Yes, like the first two, Godzilla and then King of Monsters. It's like what was happening? It was fucking dark at night. But that good way to fix that was have them fight and destroy a city where there's a lot of neon lights.
There you go. At night.
Yes, at night. Brandon Jones, the way y'all are talking about the heat makes me feel like Bane in The Dark Knight as a Texan HVAC tech who's always in the fucking attics. You were merely born in the heat. I was molded by it. He says, that was good. Yeah. He says, and I told him, I responded, I was like, bro, it's like 95 and humid. Then he goes, I'm in a 135-degree attic right now. I want to unalive my damn self. Wow. Which I'm not a Texan, Adrian,
right.
But I used to do construction many moons ago. Yeah. And I've been in some attic on some hot days. Not that hot, so I can imagine. So, respect Brandon Jones out there working. Hey, we're working class folks out there, Adrian.
That's it.
Even if the the elements are a little dangerous.
A little.
You've been you've done some construction on your own home, things like that.
I've been in hot attics. I've been in Texas too, but not a hot attic in Texas.
No, same.
And it is brutal.
Even up here, dude, the hot attic fucking sucks.
Yep.
And then you got the insulation getting in your skin. You're itching for 2 days. That's great. So. Now that dude, Pablo, James Gunn getting bullied to change shots in his film is crazy work. Yes, it is. Dude has to be the worst comic-related job at the moment. But also, it was that pretentious of him. Obviously, we know it's fake and doesn't matter who wins a fight, but don't yuck our yum guy. What? Don't yuck our yum guy. I don't know what that means. Like, get your balls out of my lettuce. Yes. Now, go to the super source real quick, Adrian. Mm-hmm. You know what this is?
Something weird.
It's balls and lettuce.
Oh.
So this is that dude Pablo's picture on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, I was scrolling through and I'm like,
nice.
Is that fucking balls? It is balls and lettuce. So there you go, dude. So that's a nice little, maybe we put that on a shirt, dude. You're not going to wear balls and the lettuce?
Well, I mean, it looks, like a 9-year-old should wear it. But I mean, if you want to do balls and lettuce, just, have a nut sack.
Oh, you want to go all out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll sell many of those.
I'm just saying.
But yes, I did. I finally noticed it, dude. So appreciate the shout out. All right, OG Dirte on Spotify. My last comment. I got some news and rumors. Let's see. Thor Quest. Yeah, there's a rumor that there's some type of development, a movie called Thor Quest. Well, dumbass name. Why do you always want to use Quest? Vision Quest, Thor Quest, this Quest, and Luke Cage might be in the movie. I mean, Thor, Luke Cage. I'm cool with that. Whatever. John Malkovich missing from the Fantastic Four press release. So he wasn't out there. I don't know. I did hear this theory though about John Malkovich. I hope this isn't true. In the comics, we talked about this. I didn't do it in Comic Moments yet, but there's a comic where Franklin Richards from the future comes back in the past to talk to Valeria, right? So he's older, he's got a beard, he's got longer hair and shit. So there was a theory that maybe John Malkovich is playing an older Franklin Richards in this movie. So now if he is, it would make sense of why he's not in the press release. They want to keep him under wraps, right?
Right.
So how do you think he could pull that off, an older Franklin Richards? It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, much older.
Yeah, like 100.
I mean, it kind of like doesn't make any sense. They could have made him an older Franklin Richards, but making like 20s or 30s, something like that.
Which
not
is how he is in the
90
comics.
years old.
Yeah, so the more I talk to that, I hope that's not it. I think he's missing from the press release because whoever he's playing, they're trying to keep that under wraps. Marvel told Daredevil Born Again creators not to watch the Netflix show. Yeah, I heard this. I think that's stupid. Why would you tell someone creating the new show not to watch the old show? I think that's ridiculous. I would say maybe don't reinvent the old show, but you should at least know where these characters came from.
Right.
And then Marvel turned down the original Blade writers' offer for help on the new Blade movie. I don't see anything wrong with that. You're making a new movie.
They turned down. So the original Blade owner. The original Blade owner,
the writer from the original movies, offered his help. And the new writer was like, "Don't do that." Yeah, like I'm good. Yeah. You think that's shitty, or you think that makes sense?
It's kind of shitty, actually.
Think so?
Yeah. I can kind of understand it because they want to. If they trying to go in a different direction, they don't want any influence.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm like, because you already had your shot, dude.
Right.
Like you made this movie based off of a comic character that's been around forever. Mm-hmm. So you had this one take on it, which according to you and a lot of people that tell me about the movie, it's good. Yeah. So I got to take your word for it. But if we're making a new version, like it's not tying to that one. Mm. So just let him do his thing, bro.
Right.
Write something else, motherfucker. Mm. And then Marvel, 1943 Rise of Hydra delayed to 2026. Yeah, it sucks, but I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, if it's going to take you longer to make a better game, that's okay. I mean, we've been waiting like 37 years for GTA 6. So, and then hidden gem suggestion: Marvel's Vulcan, which is Cyclops' brother. Okay, one of his other brothers, not Havoc. All right, well, that's a hidden gem suggestion. Drunken Legend. AWOB, boys, I don't know if anyone answered my question from last week, but the Daredevil actor wears contact lenses that blind him when he plays Matt Murdock. Okay, that makes sense there, but how come when he's not playing Matt Murdock, he still looks blind? But that makes sense, which is why he does a great job of playing a blind person, because he's actually fucking blind on set. That's why he feels the painting to know that it's his girlfriend, Adrian. All right, Peyton says, the pointless dings are so damn annoying and actually pointless. Change that shit. Okay. You can get that then, motherfucker. C's, AWOB, y'all, the Monsterverse is similar to the Fast series. Yeah, absolutely. Just turn the brain off and enjoy. I freaking love seeing radioactive dinosaur fights and a giant monkey. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, how could you not like that, right? My daughter, my 9-year-old, was actually big into it, which is funny because she's like she's a little princess girl, Adrian. Okay. But she likes these giant monsters because when she was young, she liked that movie, The Meg. Well, she's still young. She's 9. But when she was The Meg, right? Yeah. So she's like, Daddy, does the Meg fight them too? Like, who would fight them? So who knows? Maybe we get, further down, they have to bring a giant shark into this motherfucker.
Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharknado. Have you seen the 2 Meg movies?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, how's the newer one, the second one?
It's about as good as the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's not saying much.
Right.
I mean,
but in the same level as these.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it. The same level as the first one.
And then Zayla says, I can confirm, since I live in Arizona, that 80, 90 degrees is hoodie weather. 110 is our normal summer weather. And that's ridiculous, dude. That's crazy. I think if it was 110, I would just have to go out like Adam and Eve with the little leaf over my balls and just, fuck it. It's just too hot for any type of clothes at that time.
That's it.
Man Child of Steel says, post-shower shat. I don't think there's a better description. No, it fits a lot of things. Jason Martin, Sinners was by far the best movie I've seen in a while. It kills me that people think every movie needs sequels. Some movies are just great as a standalone film. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And then this Mikey Mike says, LOL with that last not so hot take. Take this follow. Well, hey, welcome to the team. These are TikTok comments, by the way, Adrian. So there's bound to be something stupid in here, right? Terrible casting too. Who in their right mind, this is Connor, looked at Ezra Miller with a man bun and said he should be Barry Allen? Right. Yeah. I mean, you hate this casting, right? Would you say it's probably one of the worst for like a main character?
Yeah. Besides Halle Berry.
Yeah.
As Storm.
Okay.
Just not only casting him as the Flash, but how they made this Flash run.
Yeah.
It's like he's switching, the hips. And it's
Right.
like, come on. It's like excessive.
And I don't like that they made him such a clown. Like Barry Allen, to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably know his character more than I do. To me, he kind of comes across as cocky, arrogant in the same way that like a Johnny Storm would talk shit to his teammates. And I feel like they try to make Barry Allen more of like a Peter Parker type of funny guy. Do you feel like, I guess what's your description of Barry Allen and how his humor?
Well, first of all, he's a forensic scientist.
Okay.
So he's very analytical, smart guy.
Yeah.
And he just seems like, out of touch with things.
Okay.
For the most part. But he's definitely not that guy. He's not a funny guy.
Right.
He's not a womanizer like Johnny Storm is either.
Yeah.
He's just a guy.
But he's a little arrogant, right?
Yeah, well, you would assume so.
A little condescending.
With his job.
Yeah.
That kind of shapes your mind a little differently.
Right.
But, he's not a Johnny Storm.
Right. And he's definitely not a Peter Parker where every little wisecrack he can make. Correct. And he's a geek and, but anyways, I don't know who the fuck in their right mind said that. It was probably Zack Snyder, and then this guy says Villa something, I don't know his name, doesn't matter. I'm tired of this Batman stuff. He ain't nothing without prep time, corny ass. I think that's a big misconception with Batman too.
Sure.
Yes, the prep time argument, a lot of people hate it, whatever, but you could take that aside and Batman is still going to dog walk most other fucking characters.
Absolutely. Because remember, Bruce Wayne is the mask.
Right.
So Batman is in there and he's always prepping.
Correct.
So there's no necessary prep time. There might be some research that has to go into some of the things that he get involved in, but the prepping is continuous.
Right. And he's always ready.
Yeah.
You could go on for hours and to name all the damn martial art forms that he's a master in.
Yeah.
He's peak in just about everything a human can be peak in. Mm-hmm. And he may not be, he's a genius. Maybe he's not top tier genius.
Correct.
But he's a smart fucking dude. Mm-hmm. Tough ass dude. And he's fucked up in the head too. So, yeah, I think now the prep time is just an added benefit that allows him to beat just about everyone,
right.
And then Fight Weight Bank says the Flash movie was just as good as Endgame. Now, you always tell me, Adrian, this could be their opinion.
Sure.
Do you think this is really his opinion or you think he's trolling?
I think he's trolling.
Like, could someone really like the Flash movie better than Endgame?
Nobody.
Not even Ezra Miller.
Literally nobody.
No, nobody. And then Marcus Moore says, just say you like Marvel better. He thinks he's a funny guy. Bitch, I fucking said it 100 times. I do like Marvel better. You know why, Marcus Moore? Because they're more better.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go.
Did we ever lie about that?
No, not at all.
Fuck. Anyways, so thank you for all your comments. We really, hopefully no one's offended by anything.
No offense. Nobody got offended.
No offense. Adrian, hidden gem. Who do we got this week, dude? Is it Ezra Miller?
No, it's not Ezra Miller,
okay.
but it's along those lines.
Oh shit. Was this a suggestion?
Yes, this is a suggestion. And we're gonna put this hidden gem. We're gonna hide this hidden gem. Put him on the shelf with your boy El Diablo.
Damn.
So this week's hidden gem is Psycho Man.
Okay.
Psycho Man is from the Microverse. Found out that where he was from, his planet was becoming overpopulated.
Okay.
Basically, they run out of room, but they figured that he needs some level of scientist there, and they figured out it was easier to go to a different dimension than it was to go to another planet, I guess. So discovered Earth in our universe, because again, they're in the Microverse where Ant-Man, where what's her face's mom was trapped.
Oh, Hope Van Dyne.
Yeah. Yep. So it's kind of like that.
Okay.
So not that universe, but like that. So Microverse. And actually, and I get to that later. But anyway,
this is Marvel or DC?
This is Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. So it's not the quantum realm, but it's similar.
Correct.
Got it.
So he decides to come to Earth, but when he comes to Earth, so he didn't master that growth thing, right? So when he came at like micro size still. So he was in our universe, but still micro. So he had to, and he built this control box, which allows people, he allows him the ability to control people, right? So he comes here and he takes over. I mean, this is a low-level character. So he takes over a few humans, like Livewire, right? To build a bigger version of his mind control thing, because his mind control box, his controller box, couldn't control the entire planet. So he was able to, with his little box, control a few people that he used as like minions to build not only a bigger version of this box, but also because he was micro, he couldn't interact with humans. So he had to build a human-sized android body for him to control as well. Okay. So he can interact. That's it.
That's it.
I mean, there's a few more things. I mean, he ran into like, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, the Thing, things like that. Mr. Fantastic had to get involved just so they can have a name on, a top tier name involved in kicking this dude's ass. They went back and forth between, the Earth verse and the microverse. And I mentioned this group before, the Micronauts.
Yes. Wasn't that a hidden gem at one point, or?
I don't remember, dude.
And this guy's not with them.
No.
Okay.
He became like a ruler or something, going around taking over things and so on and so forth. So basically, low-level cat. His tech was the only thing that made him stand out. He basically could control. He had like a box that would buttons on it that control like anger, fear, things like that. And then a dial where he can control the intensity. That's really it.
Got it.
He got kicked back and forth. Went back to the microverse. That's where the Micronauts, they're keeping a watch on them. And no special anything.
Got it.
So
Psycho Man.
Psycho Man. That's it.
So I looked it up. Only thing he's appeared in from like a media standpoint outside of comics was the Fantastic Four cartoon from the 1990s, 94. There's one episode, World Within Worlds, where he's in that. And even his Wikipedia page, pretty short. Dude. Yep. Yeah, pretty short.
So when you suggest things, if it's not good, it's not going to have a good outcome.
We're going to shat on it.
Yeah, we're going to shat on it.
So you're saying that this character is it a post-shower shat, Adrian?
It's definitely a post-shower.
Damn. But we don't, nothing personal to the person who suggested this. No. But you're now going to be on the ban list with John Bonfon. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. And I think, the good thing is John actually suggests a lot of other good things. Like he's the one that put together my watch list for the Monsterverse, which I'm enjoying the Monsterverse a lot more than his hidden gem. Who was it? Knight something? The devil guy.
El Diablo.
El Diablo. Yes. Yeah, it was, El Diablo was definitely, he was like, you took a shot in the shower. So anyways, that's the hidden gem, Adrian. Well, we are going to wrap this thing up with some agree to disagree. Right. So these are my opinions as of today. They may change. They may change by the time we're done. And I'm going to throw them at Adrian, and he's going to let me know if he agrees or disagrees. So go to our split screen, Adrian. They can see both of us. Both, as they say. That's balls in the lettuce. We don't want to show them the balls in the lettuce right now. No. So, all right. Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's
do it. As of today, Across the Spider-Verse is the greatest comic book movie of all time.
Agree.
The Martha moment is the worst comic book movie of all. Rewind. The Martha moment is the worst comic book moment of all time.
Yes, agree.
Ezra Miller, we got worst after worst after worst, was the worst casting of a main comic book character in the history of comic book movies.
Ezra Miller was the worst cast.
Yes, of the main comic characters.
Ezra Miller was the worst cast.
So you agree.
Period.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
The Monsterverse is equally as ridiculous as the Fast and Furious verse. But I'm here for it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. It's fun. It's fun to watch.
It's a guilty pleasure, dude.
But what makes the Fast and Furious thing ridiculous is that it's real people doing ridiculous things. The Monsterverse is made up stuff doing ridiculous things, so it's more acceptable.
It makes sense, yeah. Like, what if they cross over?
Oh my God.
You got
Toretto and Godzilla. Toretto versus Godzilla.
He's driving the Charger down up Godzilla's back around the spikes and shit. Yes, and then The Rock is like on the back of King Kong, you know. I mean, family, yeah, dude, we gotta do make that happen.
There you go.
I mean, there's talks of a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, which I think may have happened in comics. I don't know, but that you can.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, actually,
because the military's involved.
Is always involved in.
Correct. Yeah. The Monsterverse is better than the DCEU.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay,
I wouldn't go that far.
I would. All right, so you disagree.
I disagree.
And Dr. Doom could solo the Avengers as long as Wanda isn't there. The OG Avengers.
I disagree.
Okay. And we're talking, I mean OG, dude. Hulk, Thor, Cap, Ant-Man, like the OG.
Yeah, no.
No, you don't. Okay.
No.
Who would give the Avengers the edge? Or just as a team, they would be too powerful?
As a team, they're too powerful.
Okay, got it. Well, I guess we're going to find out in Avengers Doomsday soon. So that is agree to disagree. The last one, it's AWOB, another week, another banger. Adrian, you agree with that?
I absolutely
agree with that too. Let's see if y'all agree. Let us know. But we appreciate you guys going on this ride with us.
Yep.
It was another fun day here at Only Comics, a.k.a. Fun with Mike and Adrian, a.k.a. The Conspiracy Bros, a.k.a. Silver Fox and the Unaliver, and I'm sure I'm missing something else, but and a.k.a. Mr. Balls in the Lettuce himself, Adrian. I mean, you could coin that phrase, so... We're still working on a t-shirt design. We don't want it to be too graphic, you know. We don't want your kids getting in trouble for wearing it to school, you know.
Oh, they wouldn't wear it anyway. So.
True, yes. So anyways, we appreciate all the interns. Appreciate you guys checking us out. You know where to find us. Nice little wide shot. Here it is. We got a red version of the Ain't Mathin shirt, so you can get these on onlycomicsmerch.com. Also a bunch of comics on there. And if you're looking for something, let me know. Odds are we can probably find and get you a better deal than Amazon. We're putting Amazon out of business one day. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. They got a little bit of a head start. So
well, I mean, they got space now, so we gotta,
And did you see the wedding? Like the Jeff Bezos big deal.
No.
Like, oh God, they got married. He married the chick who's got kids with like 19 different people and has all the plastic surgery. Like, whatever makes
like I said, but nobody told him to not mess with her, right?
Ah, yes,
so,
true.
There's somebody for everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
And I guess she was for him.
And for a lot of other people first, but then him. So
damn.
Anyways, on that note, hey, if you want more of us, if you couldn't get enough, join us this Wednesday on other stuff. Check it out. It's $4.99 a month. You get another podcast where we're a little more unfiltered there. Yes. And we get into some conspiracy. We talk about the Philadelphia experiment and wherever the fuck that goes. Right. So hopefully we don't end up phasing a wall somewhere. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Adrian, thanks for coming out.
Absolutely, man.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.